finalists we've got. What's your name?
Eva.
Eva, come and have a seat. You can sit down and what's your name?
Eva.
Eva and Ava. And we've got Anna over here. Come and sit down. There's no age limit on Talkioki. Yes, that's you. Yes, come on. We'll give you a round of applause. We're talking about who is the greatest of all time.
I'll say something else. Yeah, I'll say something else.
Yeah.
Imran Khan is a Pakistani political leader, and he is the greatest of all the time. And one thing I want to talk about Imran Khan, the political situation right now the Pakistan is facing, and what the government and the establishment, what they're doing with him is embarrassing, and disappointing. We all overseas Pakistanis and all, even in all UK, even the British people all over the UK, they're just degrading everything. They're I'm disappointed about that.
What's going on?
Yeah, exactly. What they're doing with them is top level cruelty.
Okay.
Yeah.
Right, well, let's find out. Eva, is it? That's all right. Eva, Eva. Eva. And what's your name? Ira.
Ivy. Eva, Ivy.
Okay, Eva, Ivy. Come and sit down. Come and get involved. What's your name?
Lee.
And you got your little name badge there, just so I can't possibly forget. All right. So, do you know about Pakistan?
Nope.
Okay. Do you know about Pakistan?
No.
Do you know about Pakistan?
Not politically, no.
Okay. All right. Okay. So we need some basic facts about Pakistan. Where is Pakistan first?
In Asia. Yeah.
Whereabouts in Asia?
It's next to India. It's on the borders. Next to the borders of each other. India, Pakistan, Bangladesh, Sri Lanka.
Okay. And who is this Imran Khan?
Who's Imran Khan? All right. So basically, do you know Jemima Goldsmith?
Do you know Jemima Goldsmith?
Nope.
No.
Okay, that's it.
Imran Khan. Imran Khan was a cricketer.
Okay, but what's going on with Imran Khan now? Is he still playing cricket?
No. I think he left in 1998. He retired. After that, he went to politics. So it's been like 29 years. He's been doing politics. So, but what happened now? Even I can tell you, he was manhandled. Ex-Prime Minister of Pakistan was manhandled by the army.
He's not been treated very well, basically.
No, definitely no. And what he said, just one word to America, that absolutely not. Just that.
Okay.
And after it, what's happening and what he's been going through, disappointing.
Okay, so was it the equivalent of, who's the UK equivalent of Imran Khan, would you say?
Not exactly sure.
Yeah.
So what is Imran Khan?
Well, we're talking about the greatest of all time, and Eunice mentioned Ronaldo, and then Tony mentioned Imran Khan. So it doesn't have to be in cricket or whatever, but what would be the equivalent? Who's the English or British greatest of all time? What would you say?
Don't know.
It's a bit of a big question. It's a bit of a big question just to bring on us.
Who's the greatest of all time?
Go get my coat. Come back.
Okay, go and get your coat. You're still on Ronaldo. What would it be like if Ronaldo was manhandled and sent to prison? What would happen?
Manchester City would lose every match.
Okay, so it would affect Manchester City or Manchester. Anyway, too late. Gone. Okay, where are we going to go with this conversation? Potentially got a new face over here as well. We're talking about the greatest of all time. Have you heard of Imran Khan? Imran Khan.
Is he a cricket player? Used to be, and now he's he's running for presidency of Pakistan or
Prime Minister, ex-Prime Minister of Pakistan,
I've heard about him,
Well, apparently he's been treated really badly. It's a bit like the equivalent of arresting Ronaldo and putting him in prison, I think. That's what we're saying. But who's the greatest of all time? That's what we're talking about at the moment. You? Okay.
I agree.
Okay.
I think why it's slightly loose.
Uh-oh, is this... Uh-oh, is that loose? Okay, hang on now. I'm just going to restart the sound effects machine. It's a soft start. Come and have a seat on the table chat. And tell us what you're doing as well. Just quickly, come on, over you come. Maybe you can make an extra seat, so because there's three of them. Tell us your names as well.
I'm Chris. We've also got
Kasim, my name's Kasim.
Yeah, and
Abdullah.
have a seat on the table because it's going to look great for our camera. Come and take a photo of this.
We do have to get off very
Okay, 1 minute. There's a couple of questions on the table. First of all, what are you doing? And secondly, who is the greatest of all time? Is it Imran Khan? Is it Ronaldo? Does the UK have a greatest of all time? These are some of the questions. But also, so...
Tim Henman.
What's that?
Tim Henman.
Tim Henman?
I'm joking.
Okay.
Yeah, we're here. We're from Accrington. We're called Northern Dragons Martial Arts Academy. We teach kung fu, kickboxing, tai chi, all Chinese martial arts, and we also do Chinese lion dancing.
Right. You're lion.
The lions, yeah. A lot of people will get mixed up and think they're dragons. Dragons are the big long costumes with lots of people in, 10, 20, 30 people. If it's two people, two sets of legs, then it's a Chinese lion.
Okay.
And we're here for the festival today.
Is there a martial arts greatest of all time?
I have to say Bruce Lee.
Bruce Lee. Okay.
Just, yeah, so-
I'll sort that in a second. But anyway, we're talking about the greatest of all time. We're talking about what you guys are doing. Have you got anything you'd like to add to this? Why do martial arts? Grab
Well,
the mic as well so I can sort this out, yeah.
There's a lot of reasons why you'd want to do martial arts. I mean, number one is for self-defense, isn't it? Just building up your confidence and things like that.
Yeah.
I mean, right now, obviously with the lion performances and things like that, it's just good fun.
I mean, what about someone like Imran Khan, who's getting kicked about? Does he need to know a bit more?
I think if there's about 10, 20 people attacking him, then no matter how much kung fu or whatever, you just gotta run for it.
Go a certain amount of what distance the kung fu. You can't beat off more than 20
Unless you're
people.
Bruce Lee.
Yeah.
Unless you're Bruce Lee, okay.
I mean, that's pretty much it. It's like you gotta look at things, and real life is a bit different to the movies, isn't it?
Hang on, Evie and whatever you are. Can you give us a Hang on, Eva. Give us a final thought. Give us a final thought, people, as well. Final thought.
Enjoy the show.
Okay. Final thought.
Have a nice day.
Final thought.
Bye.
Right, that's the worst of all the final thoughts, I have to say. Apart from this man here, what was your name again? Lee. We didn't get a final thought from you.
I don't know what to say.
We're still trying to find out who's the UK greatest of all time. So far, we've got Tim Henman on the list.
There's no such thing as a greatest of all time. There's no such thing as a greatest of all time.
There's no such thing as the greatest of all time.
According to everybody, according to most people, everybody has a fault somewhere. So there's no such thing.
It's Monty.
You can be the best you can be, but that's all.
Okay, you can be the greatest, you can be... Or the other way of looking at it, we're all the greatest of all time. Okay. Finally, okay. All right.
I'm just leaving here. I want to give my last thoughts here. I will advise to Pakistani government that you should be stop doing this with Imran Khan, and secondly, it's against the human rights as well. And I'm disappointing about for the human rights as well, because they're not saying anything. They're not talking about anything. And for what reason you made this organization, right? So I would advise human rights organization, United Nations, and everyone, and even UK Home Office, that you should take some actions against this cruelty. That how ex-Prime Minister of Pakistan can be manhandled by thousands. There was thousands of army. How ex-Prime Minister comes under the army as a administration matter. Police can handle it, but they send the army to grab him. That's not how things work. So
what is going on? Why has it gone so bad?
it's nothing. I told you just one thing. He said absolutely not to America. That's only the reason.
Right.
They asked that we want your land to use it against for Afghanistan, war and terror, and Imran Khan said in an interview that absolutely not. These two words finish his career
Right,
and
okay.
everything. Yeah, and what he has been going through is because of all that, and Pakistani government is involved in it.
Right, okay.
Yeah, and
Okay.
he's been facing this all just because of that.
Well, thanks for filling us in on that, because I think it's something that we need to know about here in the UK, and as you say, we're not hearing about it. Have you got any thoughts about it, Hakeem?
Imran Khan should live a good life. He shouldn't be treated badly. He should be treated the same like other people.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Thanks very much for that. Okay, where are we going to go with this conversation? Thank you so much for helping us kick this off. Guys, my sound effects is working again now. So I'm giving you, we'll look out for you lions. There's the 3 lions there. There's a few different subjects we've got on that, and also my windshield has blown away somewhere. I can't see it anywhere, so if you can see a little tiny black windshield rolling around on the pavement somewhere. Oh, can you see it? Have a look. You found it? Oh, well done, well done. Okay, brilliant, well done. No, I'm just going to put it back on again. All right, so we've had our first little passage of chat. I've had my coffee and my mature cheddar cheese baguette. It's raining. Can you hold this for a second? Say something.
Yeah, but I mean, do you have to be mature to engage in politics?
Well, that's a good question.
You know? Because I really,
Also, we were talking about the greatest of all time. Where were you from?
I'm from Poland, in Eastern Europe.
In Eastern Europe.
Central Eastern Europe. in
Is
fact.
there like a Polish or an Eastern European greatest of all time?
I don't know if he's the greatest, but
Yeah.
Well, for instance, Marie Curie. She
Yeah.
was Polish. She was a scientist, double chemist, a double
Yeah.
Nobel Prize winner.
Yeah.
Also, the other person comes to mind just in the light of like Imran Khan and the kind of
Yeah.
political
Yeah.
turmoil is Lech Wałęsa.
Yeah.
He was the leader of the Solidarity movement.
Yeah.
And subsequently became a Polish president, and
Yeah.
I think for 2 terms running.
Yeah.
But now what's happening?
Is he
there's
getting manhandled as well?
not manhandled,
Yeah.
but he's being kind of pulled up on.
Yeah.
Oh, maybe you were just an agent of
Yeah.
Russia or foreign
Yeah.
agent.
Right, I see.
So they're trying to kind of discredit
yeah,
him,
discredit,
and
yeah.
it's a bit. What's interesting about it is like he may or may not have been a foreign agent. There may or may not be a dark side to his political career,
Yeah.
but at the time he was very powerful.
Yeah.
And he
Okay.
made a lot of impact on people.
Changed a lot. Okay.
A bit like John Paul II, you know.
Yeah.
There's a lot of stuff coming out now about him that isn't maybe so favourable, but at the time, in the 70s and in the 80s, he was absolutely
He was on top of the world.
detrimental to
Yeah.
Polish independence. So.
Come and have a seat on the table of chat. This is Tokyoki. It's dry in here, although it's not particularly warm. My name's Mikey. We have got, what's your name?
I'm Margot.
Margot, and... Are you driving lesson?
Good luck. I passed my test in May for the first time. You can do it.
You can do it. You can do it. Just keep it slow and steady. You'll be fine.
Good luck.
Yeah. Or are you doing the
Happy
driving
driving.
lesson?
Are you
giving-
teaching or are you learning?
Oh, okay, right.
You can do it.
You can do it, for sure. Right, okay, so we've given a little bit of confidence there. Maybe that man will become the greatest driver of all time. Who is the greatest driver of all time? Yeah?
Me, although my potential
Yeah.
is a little bit
Yeah.
sleepy at the moment. No, I want to go and drive. I've got a driving license. I've only had it for a month, but
Yeah.
I feel like
Yeah, you've done well so far. Yeah.
I'm ready. My confidence is there.
I wish I took the trousers from the studio now.
They've got some thermal tights.
I need some thermal tights. Maybe I can go to look at that. There's me complaining about having cold legs. We are right outside of Jean Junction, available for all kinds of different types of leg covering that I could be employing. Anyway, have you got any leg warmers? You have? Oh wow. Go in there and see what they got. Yeah.
The weather's gone hot, you see.
Yeah.
So you put it in the
Well, this is what I thought. This is what I thought, but I came out today with some shorts.
any colour you want. What colour do you want, Maggie?
Orange. Anyway,
They like socks. Oh, wow.
socks. That's perfect. I want some orange ones.
Do you want some orange ones?
Yeah.
We can get you some orange ones. We've got pink, we've got green, we've got orange.
Pink or orange, either really.
Pink and orange, but
Yeah.
do they come in different sizes?
Or they stretchy.
All right, they're one size. Yeah.
One size fits all. It's a bit like Talkioki. Come have a seat on the table of chat. This is Talkioki. There's a few subjects on the table. We're talking about. Come and have a seat. We're talking about who is the greatest of all time. Is there a UK greatest of all time? We heard that in Pakistan it's Imran Khan. In Poland it's Lech Wałęsa. But who is the UK greatest of all time? Who would you say? Come and have a seat. Have a seat. Sit down. Sit.
We met you in Colne Market.
Yes. What's your name, Mr. Controversial?
Ian.
Ian, that's right. We'll give you a round of applause. Yeah. Who would you say is that? I mean, we heard that about Imran Khan. We heard about Lech Wałęsa. We heard about orange. We definitely want orange. Is that like one pair? How much are they? Can we get a discount if we advertise Gene Junction? Come to Gene Junction. Today's Talkioki sponsored by Gene Junction, the very best in all accessories. Anyway, Ian, so who would you say is the greatest of all time for the UK?
His Majesty King Charles.
Oops, sorry, wrong button. The current monarch.
Yes.
Yes. Why would you say King Charles?
He's got
Yeah.
a good outlook on environmentalism.
Okay.
He's also concerned about, he cares about the people.
Yeah.
And I think he's earned the right to be the monarch as
Yeah.
well. He's ex-forces.
Yeah.
He actually served for his country.
Right.
So yeah.
So you think you're very pleased about King Charles becoming king?
Yes.
Do we need money for the?
No, she's waiting for her boss to agree the price.
Okay, okay, maybe we can get a discount for advertising Gene Junction, the very best in clothing in Nelson. Anyway, we're talking about King Charles. Apparently, is the greatest of all time for the UK.
That's an interesting choice because I would like to find out why.
Can you pass me the gaffer tape as well?
Yeah, it's
just under that.
It's just here. I'm
Yeah,
just
I know, but there's a
okay.
thing on it.
Oh yeah. So yeah, why King Charles? I mean, I know he's really into nature and kind of sustainability. Apparently, he likes to smoke natural herbs as well, which is fair enough. No, I've heard it on Talkioki. Somebody was saying apparently he's a massive blazer, but we don't know. I don't know, but that's what I heard. But I think for that reason that he's really into the environment and sustainability, I think is good. But something about his personality.
Yeah.
I think, and I think part of what makes people the greatest is their personality, and how approachable they are, how likable they are. I think, and I personally don't get a massive vibe from Prince Charles, but he may be a really great person. But I think part of what makes I think that's what I'm saying. So yeah.
It's difficult because obviously you got the public face and you got the private face.
Yeah.
And like I know somebody who's ex-RAF and he was ex-Royal Air Force. He was a steward. And as he was then Prince Charles, had paid an official visit to the station, and obviously all the sort of low life stewards and that were told to go into the kitchen cookhouse out of the way so they wouldn't embarrass the prince.
Right.
And next thing you know, they're all sat there and Prince Charles, as he was, just walked into the house and said, "I'm skiving, put the kettle on and make a brew." And he just sat down with all the lads and had a brew with them. Yeah. And my friend said he was just like a normal person. Yeah. They just said, "Right, I've got to get back to it." He said his face changed, he went into public image mode.
Oh yeah.
So he said, yeah, he is a human being.
So it's more of a come and have a seat on the table chat. We're talking about who's the greatest of all time, who's the UK greatest of all time.
Early Norland is greatest.
Who?
Early Norland for Manchester City is greatest. Come on, City!
Okay. Erling Haaland. I don't know if you heard of that. Erling Haaland. I don't know. But come and have a seat on the table of chat. Okay. All right. So, but Ian is saying Prince Charles is the greatest of all time, and it mostly because he's a human being. He's an ordinary human being.
Yeah, but you see, I'm not sure if this is true, because obviously if someone's like just an ordinary person, let's say you and I, we've never grown up in wealth. Well, I mean, I don't know, maybe you have, maybe you're a prince or something, I have no idea, but I'm gonna guess that maybe we are not royalties, that we haven't grown up with lots of wealth. But I think, you know, it's a different thing where you kind of get to the top by being an ordinary person, and it's different when you are a royalty trained by, I don't know, PR companies, whatever, to speak to ordinary people in a way that's relatable and nice. I don't fully trust that. I think he's just like performing somehow. Come and join us, by the way. Do you like Prince Charles, yes or no?
English.
No English? What language do you speak?
I speak bad English.
Bad English. That's my favorite kind of English. Come on.
Exactly, I speak English.
I think no, because maybe you speak Polish. I speak Polish too. Okay. Okay.
Some English. What is it? Well, I'm only out here anyway.
I'm on a pop talk show, and it's a free-form thing.
Are you the boss?
Give us 2 minutes. Give us 2 minutes. We've got Ian, we've got Margot and Mikey.
There's no sweets or chocolates, so how are you going to taste
We've got nuts.
I know it's nuts.
Yeah,
Talking
but
about
anyway,
Prince Charles
come and have a seat as well. Come on, there's no age limit here. Yeah, you can have a seat. You can do it. Give them a round of applause. Okay, so we got Ian, we got Margot, and Mikey. Oh, thank you. I've got some change. What's your name?
Shabir.
Shabir. When we're talking about who's the greatest of all time, we heard about Imran Khan. Somebody said Imran. As far as Pakistan goes, Imran Khan is the greatest of all time. And then we heard about Ronaldo. Apparently, I don't know where he's from, but he's also quite good. But is there a UK greatest of all time? And Ian said, actually, it's Prince Charles is the greatest of all time. King Charles now. So we're just discussing this, but the interesting reason why Ian said he's the greatest of all time is because he's an ordinary human being. He likes just to hang out with people, just have a cup of tea, and that makes him the greatest of all time, which I think is interesting. Have you got any views on this, Shabir?
Now, is that
grab the mic as well?
Dead or alive?
What do you mean? They can be dead. They can be alive.
You say greatest of all time.
Yeah.
Does it mean dead or alive?
I think you can have either, really.
Right. Those who passed away, I think.
Yeah.
The Prophet Muhammad is the greatest of all time.
Okay.
Without a doubt.
Yeah.
He's the most influential person.
Ever. Yeah. Influential person ever.
Born, yes,
okay.
without a doubt.
So Muhammad is the greatest of all time.
Without a doubt.
Yeah. Okay.
I can quantify that as well.
Go on.
Bernard Shaw.
Yeah.
In his book.
Yeah.
The most influential people in the world.
Okay, so Bernard Shaw's actually written a book about this.
Yes, he has,
Okay,
so 100 most influential people in the world, and he says Muhammad is the greatest.
Right. Okay. Okay.
And he quantifies it, saying better than Jesus, because with Jesus you have Paul.
You have what?
Paul in the Pauline Church.
Yeah.
Him and Jesus are split.
Yeah.
The influence on the Christian world.
Yeah.
So therefore he puts the Prophet Muhammad as the greatest.
Because Muhammad kind of was out there.
2 in 1.
Yeah. Okay. Is it appropriate to kind of go Muhammad? Is that appropriate, or can you do that?
I don't know what that means.
Yeah, I mean just like big up Muhammad. Can you do that?
No, there's no problem.
Okay. I'm getting. What's this? Horrible interference. Okay.
Is it from the stage?
It might be from the socks. Anyway, okay. All right. So we got Muhammad. Come and join in. Is Muhammad the greatest of all time? Is it? You say yes. Okay. What do you say, Ian? Have you got any thoughts on this?
It's difficult, you know. Again, I think it's a very cultural thing. Yeah. It's also very, very cultural, because if you look at it from a UK perspective, one could argue, if you're looking at those who've passed away, Queen Victoria. And she was, you know, well, she was the Empress of India, but she was the mother of the empire. And if you look at the achievements within the Victorian age, it's easy to look at the negative side, look at the positive side. The age of science, the age of reason, the age of exploration. It was quite influential. But again, on other figures, you could argue that Buddha was also extremely influential within his time.
Okay.
There's various ones.
All right. So Buddha, Queen Victoria, you're throwing in there. Margot?
No, I was just wondering, like, whether these two figures have got, you know, or like the greats, whether these figures named have got something in common. Like, what is it about them that makes them great? Is it just they just have got not necessarily popular opinions, so they've got influence? Do they have like really good points? Are they achieving something? You know, what is it? People go like, oh, this is very impressive. I'm going to listen to this person because they've, you know, they've got a lot of followers, or they've built an empire, or whatever. Like, I wonder what these elements are that make somebody great.
Okay,
That's
I mean,
it.
Have you read the book by Bernard Shaw? Why did he put Muhammad on? Did he have like a set of criteria as to why somebody would be the greatest of all time?
I read it quite a while ago, so it's been a while. But he does generalise, saying that he's the greatest leader, political, general. There's all sorts of things that he went through.
Different categories.
Yeah, and he showed that, you know, his influence was on the Arabian Peninsula.
Yeah.
But look, within 100 years, it's got into Europe.
Yeah.
So you look at that. With Muhammad, it wasn't. The culture was very vast. It wasn't just stuck to one culture, the Arab culture.
Yeah.
For instance, here in Britain, we have Muslims who are whiter than white, who are English Muslims who are born into Anglo-Saxon families. So our culture is very, very open and expansive. With Queen Victoria, again, she's the Empress. Why was she made the Empress of India? You've got to understand what the history was on the British Empire, why they made her the Empress, and what atrocities they committed in India at that time with the British Raj, just before the British Raj came over. The East India Company, what they were doing in India.
I mean, are we looking at Queen Victoria in the right kind of light? And what makes someone the greatest? Does that kind of give, in a way, if someone's great, that you know, it's okay for them to sort of do all these kind of atrocities, massacres, or whatever? So there's a lot of questions here. We're delving into history. Have you got any thoughts on this, Margot?
No, maybe, I don't know. The greatest person has got like the best PR company. Maybe that's what it's all about. I don't know. No, because it's true.
Give us a final thought. Thanks for.
I'm here for a few hours, so I'm only.
I mean, we're here. We're here all day, so you're going to hear a lot of chat.
Here's something interesting. I'll come over.
Oh, that's great. Okay. I mean, you know what? There's some really interesting points there, and thanks for that. So where are we going to go? Let's come and have a seat. We're talking about who's the greatest of all time at the moment. We've got Ian, we've got Margot and Mikey. We had Shabir. Maybe it's going to come back. What's your name?
Hello, it's Marcus.
Marcus, that's right. And Ian, Marcus, Margot. We're talking about greatest of all time at the moment. Who would you say the greatest of all time? Is it Queen Victoria, as Ian says?
I've got to disagree. It's Muhammad Ali.
It's a different Muhammad.
Yeah.
Why?
Because he's the greatest. He's the greatest man.
Yeah.
He's and he shows the way for other people who want to take up the sport.
Right. Okay. Okay. So Muhammad Ali. That's a really good point. And in a way, that's related. Shabir, come back out again, because it's related to Muhammad. What about Muhammad Ali? Ian, give us a final thought.
I don't know. Again, it's easy to say who is the greatest, but again, it's always down to personal choice. You know, you could, you know.
Sorry to interrupt you. Earlier on, someone said we're all the greatest of all time. We're all great in our own ways, and we're all flawed in our own ways.
Yeah, you know, and again, it's very easy to pick fault as well. People can turn around and go, "Oh, look at the atrocities that the British caused." Well, hold on. What about the atrocities that other? You know, I think every single culture, at some point in its history, has carried out atrocities, but it's learning from the past, learning from your mistakes and moving forward. And I think, especially with the United Kingdom, we have done.
Okay, that's some really good points. I mean, maybe we all need to do that all around the world. We're here all day, so Ian, come back. Maybe the conversation will move on to something else, we don't know. Marcus, what are you talking about over here?
I'm just saying that I've joined an organisation called the Good Life Project. And unfortunately, in March, I suffered from depression and anxiety. I went to the doctor and he said, you need to get out and socialise with people. So I heard about this really good gardening allotment organisation in Nelson. So I started going middle of March, and it's really good. And I'm trying to just spread the word. So if anybody is interested in gardening, if they go to the Morrison end of the market, you'll see Lewis there, who's been my mentor, and they'll just teach you how to plant spinach. Also, if anyone's got a Popeye outfit, hence the spinach, that'll be great. But if you're interested in gardening, hope to see you there. Okay.
Popeye is the greatest promoter of spinach, but who is the greatest of all time when it comes to gardening? Is it Popeye, or is there another great gardener of all time?
I feel it's funny because I used to watch Popeye when I was a child, and he's a great advocate for spinach. But he's not a great advocate for mental health, I think, because he always used to get really pissed off.
He's a bit mental when it comes to spinach. You just can't get enough of it.
No.
But spinach is really good for your diet.
He's a little bit of a spinach addict more than anything else, isn't it?
So is it addiction?
Yeah. I mean, he's possibly the greatest spinach eater of all time, but who's the greatest gardener of all time? Are we going back to, what's that?
I can't remember his name, but Monty Don.
Monty Don?
Oh, I've got it.
Yeah.
Percy Thrower.
Percy Thrower, the big one, the big man. Percy Thrower, the greatest gardener of all time. Yeah.
Peter Seagrave.
Peter Seagrave. I don't know Peter Seagrave. Do you know Peter Seagrave? No? Okay. Come and have a seat on the table of chat. We're talking about who's the greatest of all time, who's the greatest gardener, who's the greatest prophet of all time. So many different things we're talking about here. We have got Marcus, we've got Margot. Your name doesn't have to start with Mar or M, but everyone around the table does at the moment. My name's Mikey. Where are we going to take? I mean,
more M's.
Yeah, any more M's around here? Where do we want to take this? I mean, there's so many different ways to take this conversation. Do we want to talk about mental health, about how getting out there, socialising? You also mentioned, Margot.
I mean, it's a really great thing that you're doing, I think, because I think it's an easy thing to say, like, oh, you know what, if you got depression, just go and socialise with people. That's just such an easy thing to do. But actually, to actually do it, to say it is easy, but to do it, it's not easy. That's the whole point. And it's an interesting thing to go into gardening. I would never, think about gardening. So I wonder, what is it about gardening that is particularly beneficial? Is it the socialising aspect, or is it actually something about the plants?
Why is gardening good for mental health? What is it about gardening?
Well, gardening, you'd think it's just mucking about in soil, but it's seeing the beginning results when it's all scruffy, and then you spend 2 hours, you can get your thoughts together, and then the end result, you think, oh, I've done something worthwhile during the day. And
it's a nice involved process, I suppose, isn't it? You're getting your hands dirty. Do you do gardening?
Well, I don't. A few times. I know. I'm such a waste of time. Everybody's time.
Oh, that's how sound effects do, but it keeps going off for some reason. I don't know why.
Maybe it's the interference. No, I don't do gardening, but I like the idea of gardening. But what I think would appeal to me is like getting messy. Just like, because I think when you're like a grown up, when you're a professional in a work environment, you always have to be like really presentable. You have to look good, say the right thing. But with things like gardening, or just like you say, muck about with
you can be soil, scruffy.
You can be scruffy. Actually, that's expected. Different kind of fun.
Yeah, absolutely.
And it's a good contrast, because if you've been working all week and in a professional environment, 9 to 5 regular, and then at the weekend you can just put your scruffs on.
Hang on a sec. Come and have a seat on the table of chat. At the moment we're talking about gardening. Are you a gardener? No? Would you like to be?
Is your name beginning with M?
Is your name beginning with M as well? Because we've got Margot, Mikey and Marcus. Anyway, go carry on.
Does anybody have any M&Ms?
M&Ms, that would go well.
What would be a really successful thing
Yeah.
is to grow your own M&Ms.
Grow your own M&Ms. That's
You know,
what?
I saw this. I don't know what the interference is, but I saw this video on Instagram where it's not about M&Ms, but it was a bit strange. But there was maybe like a quince fruit growing, and what they did, right? They've put like a plastic. Maybe I don't know the story. There's a pub in East London, but anyway. But what I'm trying to say is when the fruit was still small, they've put it in the case, like a plastic case, and they just like screwed it together. And the case was like a mold of a human head. Then they left it to grow, and then when the fruit grew bigger, they took the mold off, and it had the shape of a head. So weird.
Sounds amazing. Is this a secret thing? Yeah.
Just don't put mic to it. It's like in the spring when you get like baby apples. It's like in the spring when you get baby apples, and people put jars over the apples, and then the apple grows inside the jar, and it's like a trick, and people have got to work out how did the apple get in there.
Yeah. That's not how you make apple jam, is it? Yeah.
But that's a bit weird, isn't it? Like, I don't know what you think about it. Like, I feel sad for the fruit.
Is it wrong? Is it like somehow ethically wrong to put an apple in a jar when it's still growing? You say yes. This man says yes. Yeah.
Jar.
Yeah. When it's a door, not a door.
When it's a jar.
Where's my sound effects? No. Ba-dum. Let me just sort this out. Talk about stuff. Come and have a seat on the table of chat. We've got Margot, we've got Marcus. Come and have a morning. Come and have a seat. It's not just about witnessing. All right. Yeah.
Michael, Margot, Marcus.
Yeah. There's a lot of. Come and have a seat. This is Talkioki. Hold the mic. Talk about something. I'm just going to fix it.
No, I think, but I think there's a question of like, is gardening? Well, maybe not gardening, but like, is farming ethical? Is growing fruit and vegetables actually ethical? I mean, obviously, we're talking about an extreme example: growing apples inside of a jar. Now, if anybody asks me how did apple get there, I would know, and thanks to Marcus, I will know the answer to that. Yeah. But I think there's more ethics in growing fruit and veg than we think. Like all the pesticides,
especially
and
in
things
Essex.
Like in Essex.
Yeah.
Why?
Because it's a very ethical place. Ethics in Essex. Yeah.
Ethical.
Yeah.
No.
You don't want to start going down that route. Farming better.
Well. Is it too controversial? We've got too controversial. We can change the subject. We'll talk about something else. There's a little bit of gardening happening here. That definitely wasn't there last year when we were at. What's that?
We don't want to open. Some people don't want to open a can of worms.
Yeah.
But yeah. So yeah, this thing wasn't there before. Is it natural? Is it plastic? Are these flowers plastic or they're real?
I think they're real flowers.
All right. Yeah.
Oh, it's working again. Yeah. Okay, right. So, anyway, so.
For instance, making jam. Oh yeah, I made the jam myself, but there's a lot of sugar in there.
Yeah.
Okay, your return. So give us a final thought, a final question to think about whilst you're gone, and come back later.
Gardening is great. Get yourself down to the good life. Oh, we've got
if somebody wanted to come in, like when is a good time?
If you go to Readyford Lane next to Barnes's, I hope we're not going to get in trouble for not being able to advertise, but if you go to the allotments there and either see George or Tom and the best time to come is Wednesday and Thursday.
Wednesday and Thursday.
Between 10 and 3. You'll have a blast.
Oh, lovely. Well, thank you. Thank you for letting us know, and we'll hopefully see you very soon. Go spread the word, spread the seeds of gardening.
And sow the seeds of chat as well.
Sow the seeds of chat.
Because we're definitely, I feel like we're kind of in a way, we are cultivating a conversation.
We are. I want to find out what people grow, but do you grow anything? The lady over there?
I don't think gardening is that popular, weirdly, in Nelson.
Is gardening popular? Do you grow any vegetables?
Do you gardening? Come and have a seat, yes. Come on.
Oh, you're growing the performance, okay. Yeah.
Growing some children.
Yeah, growing children. Growing. How are your leg warmers? Do you need another pair for your thighs?
Improving the situation, but I feel a bit like Scott of the Antarctic here.
I may have to put my jeans on a bit.
Yeah.
But you know, I want to ask this man: are you a baker? Are you a baker? Because you're wearing all white.
Are you all white?
Are you baking bread? Is that why you're wearing all white? Are you baking bread? That's why you're wearing all white?
No, I'm just decorator.
Oh, decorating. What are you decorating?
I'm coming just for looking,
Yeah.
From my work. Just have a tour. I'm going now.
What, are you working here in Nelson?
Yeah.
What are you working on?
Decorating.
But what is it? A house? A shop? A house.
Houses, yeah.
Yeah. What's your favourite colour?
My favorite green.
Green. Okay, well, it's perfect. That's maybe why you're attracted here with this. I don't know. We're talking about. Yep.
I wonder if. What's your name, by the way? I'm Margot. This is Mikey.
What's your name?
Atisham.
Atisham.
Come and have a seat. Have a seat. Okay. All right. Very quick one. Who's the greatest of all time?
Sorry?
Who is the greatest of all time? Greatest person that ever lived. No, ever.
Greatest person, my mom.
Okay. All right. Well, we'll send a big up Atisha's mum. Is your mum always the greatest of all time? Yep.
I think my mum is pretty good, but it's funny because I haven't always appreciated it as a child. You don't see it like that because that's the only mum you've got.
Yeah.
Hello. But
yeah.
Here we are again.
Here we are again. Come and have a seat.
But yeah, I think you have to be a bit older to appreciate your mum.
Okay.
Because when I was younger, my mum was like, "Oh no, embarrassing."
Yeah.
But yeah.
So at the moment we're talking about who's the greatest of all time. So far we've had Imran Khan, we've had Ronaldo, we've had Mohammed, Prince Charles, Queen Victoria,
Muhammad Ali,
and Muhammad Ali, the boxer, and also somebody's mum. So, Mikey, this is Margot. What's your name?
My name's Selena.
And who's the greatest of all time?
I think everyone should put themselves first as the greatest.
So you are your own greatest of all time.
Yeah, and I feel like it should be that for everyone.
Yeah. Okay. Do we sometimes fail to actually appreciate ourselves and what we've got to give?
Yeah, I feel like in this day and age, people are very easily made people pleasers.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like it's so easy to just fall under someone and give your all to someone and not receive that back, and it kind of just slips your mind.
Yeah. So in a way, we're encouraged to kind of please other people and not actually do things that are good for ourselves. Do you agree with that, Margot?
Yeah, I'm thinking about what you said. I think there's a lot of truth in this. I'm trying to kind of like, just process it in my mind. I wonder, because I think people are people pleasers, but I wonder why that is. Is it to become the best, the biggest, the most popular, the most, the nicest, the good one? Are we pleasing other people to make ourselves look good? I don't know.
I'm going to turn the mirror back on you. Are you ever a people pleaser? You ever try and please other people, and why do you do it?
I think I think I am to some extent, but I think I used to be even more when I didn't realise there could be another way. That if you don't do things how the other person expects you to do, it's not necessarily a bad thing. You can still do things how you want to do them with a good intention. Like for me, it's about having a good intention, and we sometimes get things wrong, but if you've got good intention, you don't want to hurt anyone, then I think that's okay.
Okay. We're talking about people pleasing. Are you a people pleaser? That's what we're asking. Oh, I'm just asking that. Just empty space. But what's wrong with pleasing people? What's the problem?
Now you've got this kind of ear of the loop.
That doesn't matter.
Just quickly going back to the point she made about pleasing other people to make yourself look like a better person.
Yeah.
It's a very hard concept to grasp until you have that mindset yourself. That it shouldn't matter what other people think about you, as long as you yourself, you know that you're a good person and that what you're doing is good for you. It doesn't have to be good for everyone else, but as long as it's benefiting you and it isn't harming anyone else around you, then what more is there to bring to life?
Okay. So, in a way, we've got to think about it's not necessarily about being selfish or anything. It's about just what's going to benefit you. Are you a people pleaser? That's what we're talking about at the moment. Come and have a seat. Yes, come along. We've got Selena, we've got Margot, we've got me, Mikey.
You're not going to have Selena anymore because Selena's co-hosting and she's
co-hosting what?
Co-hosting the event.
Okay, well give it. Send some people, send some punters our way because look, we're a bit.
Comment?
Yeah, like final thought, of course.
Final thought: put yourself first. In this day and age, it's the best thing to do. Just put yourself first. You're the only person that's gonna come out on top if you put yourself first.
Okay.
You're gonna die alone. You'll be put in your grave alone. It's a very sad reality, but you gotta stick with it and you gotta put yourself first.
Okay. Well, that's an interesting point as well. That you go into your grave alone. Is that always the case? Is it a sad reality?
Essex or less Lancashire.
Well, me too. Come and have a seat. Yes. Oh, you're on the phone. Yeah, of course you are. Yeah, we know that trick. All right, so. Am I just trying too hard to please other people? Should I just do what I want to do? I kind of am doing what I want to do, but in a way, the only difference between people pleasing and doing what I want to do is I would eat more snacks and chocolate.
Do you want some chocolate biscuits?
Yes.
I feel like we need more hot drinks as well.
Yeah, more hot drinks. I'm dying here. I'm really pleased with this leg warmers though, although I'm not sure about the look. No one can see it though.
No, exactly. They're like
It's very 80s, it's very fame.
under the saddle.
Yeah, it's very fame. Come and have a seat. Are you a people pleaser?
Sort of.
So we've got Margot and Mikey, what's your name?
Omar.
Oman. We're talking about people pleasing, and we had someone on just now who's saying we try too hard to please other people and we don't do enough for ourselves actually. Do you agree with that?
Yes.
I mean, can you give us an example? Maybe Margot, you could start us off. Can you give us an example of how you've tried to please other people rather than working for yourself?
I mean, for instance, people at work, I think sometimes you kind of see what they're trying to achieve and you want that to happen, but you have to still do your own thing in your own way because they can learn from you doing things differently, like I can learn from them doing things differently. So I don't have to, just because someone says I'll do it like this, I don't necessarily have to do it like this.
Can all learn from each other, really, can't we?
Yeah, I think so. Or like my mum, she wants me to be a particular kind of daughter maybe, or kind of behave in a particular way, but sometimes just for easy life, and considering that she's an older person, she brought me up, I'm gonna compromise myself and be like, oh yeah, I'll just do this, but I'm not happy ultimately, so why, who am I pretending to? So these would be my examples.
Okay, so there's no point doing things for other people if you're not happy. Do you agree?
Yes, you should do do some stuff that makes you happy.
Yeah, absolutely. Okay, what kind of things make you happy?
Like going out, spending time with family.
Yeah. Okay, anything else?
That's it.
Where do you like going out?
Like shopping centers, or theme parks, or just for outside for a walk.
Just some kind of adventure, anyway. Okay, I mean, are we nice enough to us? Do we treat ourselves enough? I've just opened up this packet of chocolate biscuits, which immediately makes me feel better about myself. But are we treating ourselves enough? That's the question. And what's that man doing with a bear?
It's funny funny, you know, because I think, well, I'm Polish and I grew up in Poland, and I think if you are, you know, too self-indulgent, that's just not a good trait. I think you need to be kind of, you have to be showing to the world that you are kind of not enjoying yourself too much. If you are, then you're just being, you know, in other people's faces.
It looks bad to enjoy yourself too much.
Yeah. So I don't know. So I'm kind of, you know, that's how I was brought up. I don't think it's like fully right, but I think there's something in it as well, whereby, you know, you too much indulgence is too much, you know.
Okay, so, are you a people pleaser? Is that a yes or a no? I didn't get that. Anyway, what's wrong with just enjoying yourself and being happy and having fun and showing other people that you're having fun? Surely that's better than just making yourself look like you're not in. Come and have a seat. Yes. 2 minutes. 2 minutes.
I mean, he's a volunteer, so he's out there to please people, but maybe in a particular way, not through conversation. Maybe don't get involved. Volunteer, but don't get involved. I don't know. No, but I think, you know, I think it's okay to enjoy yourself, but I think the problem that I have with what Selina said was that if your guiding thought is, if your guiding principle in life is to enjoy yourself, then that's wrong.
Okay. So it can't be your guiding principle in life, just having fun.
Like you should do everything. Like you should do all.
Go and just get. We'll help you out. We'll help you out. Go on, man. Just say whatever comes into your head.
Like yeah, if you want to make somebody happy, you should just smile them and they have a good day.
But can you be too happy?
Not too much happy, but you should be.
Yeah.
Not like good, but not like little. You should make somebody's day like just by smiling.
Yeah. Can you be too happy? That's the question we're talking about here. What would you say?
I think you can't be too happy, but it's just how you show it to other people. So, like, for instance, just smiling to someone and like kind of connect with them, that's nice. But if you go like, oh, you know, I've done this, that, and the other, I'm just so happy, my life is so amazing. I think you have to be sensitive.
So there's an element of showing off in a way.
So maybe that's kind of what that's how I interpret it.
Yeah, you don't need to brag on.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay, you can be happy, but don't show off about it.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay, so good job. We got that one resolved. Where are we going to take this conversation? Maybe these people can help us out. This is Talkioki Pop-Up Talk Show. Come and have a seat. We've got Margot, we've got Aman and Mikey. Come and come and have a seat. Come and talk to us. 2 minutes.
I've got a question.
Yeah.
This lady's got a power written on her dress.
Power.
Does she have a special power?
Yeah.
Is that what it means? Do you have a special power? You've got a power dress on.
It's power dressing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Power of the power of dress.
Power of love.
The power of clothes.
Okay.
Or lack of clothes, Mikey.
Yeah,
Are you
exactly.
struggling there?
I'm struggling. Yeah.
What are these stripes saying? What are these 3 stripes about? They're like tiger claws, maybe. But that should be.
Come and have a seat on the table of chat. This is Talkioki. At the moment we're talking about, can you be too happy? Can you?
Yeah.
All right, come into count.
Everything's happy.
Yeah. Can you be too happy?
Yeah. If you're not too happy, and if you're in the middle, then something's wrong. Okay. Everybody needs to have happiness in their life because happiness brings something to everybody else and puts a smile on everybody else's face.
Right. Okay. But I mean, I think there's consensus. This is Margot, this is Aman, and Mikey. Tell us your name.
Ozzy.
The consensus around the table before you arrive is that you can actually. It's not about being too happy, but if it looks like you're kind of like rubbing your happiness and your positive vibes in other people's face when they're not having a good time, then maybe it can be a little bit kind of like, you know, yeah.
I've got a question. So let's say you wake up and you're really, really happy and everything's going your way and it's amazing. To me, sometimes, but rarely.
Yeah.
And then you meet someone who's had a really tough life. Not a tough day, tough life. They're experiencing like inequality, poverty, whatever it is. How do you have a conversation? Because I think, how do you have a conversation with them? How do you share your happiness?
How do you, someone's had a tough, come and help us out here. Shabir, help us out here. We're talking about happiness. We're talking about happiness. If you're a very happy person and you see someone that's had a tough life, how do you actually infect them with your happiness? That's what we're talking about at the moment. What's the answer? Because you can just come, annoy them with being too happy rather than actually help brightening up their day.
Okay, so I've got a concrete example. So this is your shop, right? So this is your shop. Let's say the business is going well, and then on the way to the shopping centre, I saw a note up saying begging is an offence. Do not give money to beggars. So let's say you're walking down the street, you meet a beggar, and you're happy because you've had a good day, good trading day. Do you just ignore them, or do you try to share your happiness? Because I'm saying this is very complicated, because our happiness is connected to
It's not as easy as
lots of things.
As it appears.
Yeah.
I think
Grab the mic, Shabir.
happiness is subjective to the person. It has to be subjective.
Yeah.
It's
But
not
can
objective
you
at all.
can you spread your happiness? If you're in a good mood, can you spread it or can you would you just annoy people? That's what we're talking about, really. Yeah.
No, you can spread happiness, yes, of course. But the thing is, like I said, it's subjective to the person, isn't it? It's not a general thing. Happiness, I mean, depression is there.
Yeah.
Would you say happiness is the opposite of depression?
Okay, it's a good question. Well, we're going to throw it out there. Is happiness the opposite of depression? What do you say, Aman? You're not sure?
No, not sure.
Okay, Margot?
Oh, it's a tough one.
Yeah.
I don't quite know. No, it's not. It's not opposite. I think maybe when you're depressed, it's like you cannot see clearly. You cannot consider your life clearly. So that's why maybe people do harmful things when they're depressed. But
it's almost like a cloudiness.
Yeah, like a cloudiness. You don't see your actions clearly, maybe. So I'm not sure if it's if depression is the opposite of happiness.
Okay.
It's unhappiness, but it's not.
Okay, so how do you actually? I guess the question is more like, how do you spread the love, really? How do you spread? How do we spread the love? I mean, obviously today we've got the festival.
No, but I think spreading the love is different to spreading happiness, isn't it? Spreading the love is something else than spreading happiness.
Okay, something different.
I don't know what exactly. I haven't quite figured out what the. Hello, do you spread happiness? I hope they do. Yeah. There's a person in very colourful trousers and dress. Are you spreading happiness? Is this part of it?
Come talk to us. Come tell us about what the outfit is today and what's going on. We have got Margot. Yeah. We've got. Hang on a second, Man. I want a final thought from you before you go. Give us a final thought.
That's it.
Was that it? Okay. Come and have a seat. What's your name?
My name is Joy.
Oh, Joy. Okay. That's funny because we're talking about happiness and your name is Joy and you look very happy.
Because one of the things we're talking about is, okay, if you're a happy person, if you just want to spread the joy, other people might not, they might be in a really bad mood, they might be having a tough life, not just a tough day. What's your approach to that? That's the question on the table, but also we want to know a little bit about your outfit as well. So over to you, Joy.
Okay, so my outfit, I generally wear colourful clothes all the time because colour brings happiness to me. This outfit is like African because we're doing the drumming. So I'm part of the Keep the Beat, which is cool. And for anyone that struggles, I guess I would say always feel your feelings. If you need to cry, cry, because if you feel your feelings, then you can get through that, and then you can be happy. So that's what I say.
How do you get out the other side from like those bad feelings to positive feelings? Is it just about going through it, working through it?
Yeah, basically. Being around nature as well helps because nature's very healing, and going within and just meditating and finding all those parts of yourself that that can be transformed, and yeah.
So there are parts of you in there that can be transformed, whoever you are. Yeah.
I was just looking at this man was walking past and he had a t-shirt saying keep calm and hide the evidence. And I'm like, what does it mean? I wasn't successful getting him to explain, but yeah, I mean,
maybe he'll walk back the other way.
If he does, I'd love to know what it means, but it was funny, but
okay, well,
yeah.
at the moment we're talking about come and have a seat on the table of chat. Yes, that's you. Yes, you're invited. We've got Joy, we've got Margot, we've got Mikey. We need more people. What about these people over here? What about these people over here? Event manager, come over here. We're talking about spreading the joy, spreading the love, transforming yourself. I can't say it any louder than this.
No, but I think, I think it's important to do different, like even small actions to really just to put a smile on people's faces, because sometimes you can't fix somebody's life entirely, but you can put a splash of colour for someone to go like, oh, it's different. I'm not really a good example wearing colour tonight. Yeah, I'm just like, I look like I'm gonna go and, I don't know, go incognito through the night. I don't know, but
this is colourful.
Yeah, exactly. That's colourful and unusual. So we can't fix people's lives or the world, but we can put a smile on people's faces, and I think that's really brilliant. But I often feel really bad, like when I see people who have been less fortunate for whatever reasons in their lives. Like, how do I interact with them?
No, give us a couple of minutes, because this is a crucial moment in the conversation. We've got Joy, we've got Margot. What's your name?
Noreen.
Noreen? Yeah. A moment we're talking about how do you actually kind of spread the love, spread the happiness to people. Joy made a really good point, is sometimes people are not happy and you've got to let them be unhappy. It's not about saying you can't be unhappy, but they've got to go on a journey, transform. Have you got any thoughts on this?
They might have their own feelings for it. Yeah. What they're feeling through, innit? So just leave them to it for a bit, and then after that they'll...
Yeah, just leave them, let them do what they do. But how do they get to the other side? How do they go through the journey to the happy side? Maybe these people can... Are you happy? Okay. Come and join in. We're not a spec... This is not... Okay, well, that's all right. Do the view from the table. Yeah, so, we'll ask Joy, is that okay? Do you mind being photographed?
No, I don't mind.
Margot, do you mind being photographed?
No, because I'm incognito. No one's going to recognise me.
Yeah. I don't mind either. What's your name?
Diane.
Diane?
Yes.
We're talking about spreading the love, spreading the happiness.
Perfect. Yeah, everybody should do that. It does you good. Yeah.
I mean, it might do you good, but what about those people? Because Margot earlier on mentioned people that are having a tough life.
Yeah.
How do you actually, okay, you can be colourful, you can be joyful, you can, but sometimes that's kind of almost like a bit too much of a contrast if people are really struggling. So what is the answer there?
You've got a good point there. I think maybe you put a different face on when you come out and give everybody a smile, and quite often you get a smile back, and I think that just lifts your spirits, just a smile, doesn't it? And maybe somebody who's been walking around looking very glum all day, I'll give you a smile, and the look on the face, it brightens them up.
I mean, talking about photography, I've realised recently that when I'm not smiling, it still looks like I'm smiling. So when someone's taking a photo, I try to not smile, because it still looks like I'm smiling. But if I do smile, it looks a bit like it's a bit over the top. It's too big. Do you know what I mean? Anyway.
It's a bit like Labrador dogs. They always look like they're smiling. That's my contribution. But you see, but like Labradors, they just walk around. They don't even know that they're funny. They always are smiling and they don't care. Yeah, and looking for food.
Yeah, as long as they got food, they're fine, aren't they? I mean, I've got a miniature Labradoodle.
Oh,
and he's not very food orientated at all.
Yeah.
Until he sees us eating, and then he wants human food but not dog food. So anyway, there we go.
Okay, so a Labradoodle. Hang on, I've got the sound effect for that. Okay, so where are we going to go with this conversation? Have you got a dog, Joy?
No, I've got a cat.
Sound effect for that.
There you go, that's nice. I'm loving it.
So sweet.
I mean,
it is at home on this all day.
Joy.
I mean, maybe.
Not working, so.
I'll look after you.
Come and have a seat.
Right, I'm gonna go. It's been lovely.
Okay, well, thank you, Diane. Come back later.
I do feel like people that have support or a support network from friends or family helps as well, you know, to bring that joy. Yeah.
Okay. So it's also about friends and family, including canine and feline friends.
But I think sometimes, like, I love my friends, but friends can be like hard work because, and I tell you why I find it hard work is because I want to be fully present for my friends, but when I'm working a lot and I just want like an easy afternoon, they're like, oh, let's go and do this thing. I feel like I'm letting them down. But now I started saying no to things. Yeah, boundaries.
What do you mean you let
But then
them
I
down?
end up just like spending weekend on my own. So, oh, I've rested, but maybe rest is okay. But you know.
What do you mean you're letting your friends down?
Because if they want to go out and I don't want to go out, but you need to put in effort into cultivating.
Come and have a seat on the table of chat. This is Tokioki. Sorry to snatch the microphone. Yeah! No, that's perfect. It's perfect for you. We got Joy. We got Margaret. What's it? Come on. This is the perfect. This is now. It's the time. The universe has answered. This is the time to overcome your shyness. You can do it. Yeah, you can do it. You don't even have to say anything. Yeah. Joy is shy. Margot's shy. I'm shy. We're all shy. We're all shy. So come on, let's be shy together. What's your name?
My name is Sadaf. Sadaf.
I still can't. It's Salah. What is it?
Just Salaf? Sadaf.
Okay, come and have a seat. We have got Joy, we've got Margot, I'm Mikey.
I have my husband working there, so I'm just.
Okay, come and say what? Yeah.
No, I can't talk.
Yes, you can. There's another shy person.
You got an extension cable in your van.
We might have one in the red box. Have a look in the red box.
Is it in the office?
Yeah, it's in the office, yeah. Okay, good. Joy, thank you so much for... Hang on. We want a final thought from you before you go.
Final thought.
Mike as well, if you're going to stand up.
Okay, microphone. The more present you are in life, the more you can feel everything. And when you're within your feelings, you can get beyond the dark feelings into the light feelings and feel happy and joy all the time. So, and I just, have love in the world. Because love is the answer.
Can I just ask, does it get a bit boring though, being happy and joyful all the time?
No, because I also cry when I need to. I love crying as well.
So it's not all...
And you have boundaries as well.
Yeah, and I have boundaries, which helps.
Okay, amazing. Thanks so much. We're here all day, so come back when the sun's out.
Oh, you've got YouTube as well? Okay, so chat and YouTube at the same time. I need my Tokioki shirt as well. Tokioki shirt. I'm wearing all black. This is just not the look that I was going to go for. But anyway, welcome. This is Tokioki. If you are wondering what this is, it's a pop-up talk show. We're just sitting here having a conversation. Right now we've got a new person around the table. My name is Margot. What is your name?
It's John Bradbury of John's Metal Detecting Adventures.
Okay. Can I call you John?
You certainly can.
Fantastic. John, who do we have here?
Mikey?
Are you into adventures as well?
Yes, but I've never detected metal.
Okay, so why do you do this?
I love to find historical artifacts, and it's the excitement of something that's been in the ground for such a long time that gives me a massive buzz.
Okay, are you doing this around Lancashire? Are there particularly historical or rich areas in this area that you go to?
Well, I do travel about to do various detecting different places, but at the moment now, because I'm local, I do quite a lot of local detecting, looking for history. So I just generally talk about the historical artifacts that I find in this area, educate people about the things that I find.
Okay.
And
I want to just ask this person over there with the Shih Tzu dog. Do you know this person? More to the point, have you ever found any historical objects in the ground? We've got John, we've got Mikey. My name is Margot. What is your name?
Philip.
Philip, welcome. And we've got someone down there. What's their name?
Poppy the dog.
Poppy the dog. So here we are. So right now, we're finding out, actually digging stuff up or finding stuff in the ground. You get kicks out of that. So that's kind of how you get your kicks. Have you done this before? Have you?
I've only done it.
Join us.
A little, just a little. He's a professional, he's sort of helping me and training me up.
So you're the historical expert. Grab a seat as well, and that way other people will see that this is a complete safe, user-friendly Tokyo.
We can talk about a particular artifact that I think is so significant and important that I found recently. I mean, I found so much in this area of history, but the latest interesting find is a First World War silver sweetheart brooch. That was the good news, absolutely awesome. And the better news was that I found the family.
Wow.
And so what we're going to do here is we're going to do a presentation to the family of this brooch whose mother wore it 100 years ago.
Wow. Okay, so this is actually quite amazing. So you found something, and you managed to track down a family to whom this brooch belongs. So, okay. I mean, what have you learned from this? Like, is there any information about the family, about the world? What are we learning from that artifact? I mean, yeah.
Yeah, the actual artifact is a sweetheart brooch. What it was is a brooch that's been given by the soldier of the First World War to their loved one, to their wife, to the partner, as a remembering gift to remind them of their loved one parted to go fight in the war. And that person then probably generally given to the women's side of the family. And this lady in particular, she went probably off walking into the field, helping out in the field, doing something in farmland, and at that point lost it while working in the field doing something there.
So that must have been like a really kind of heartbreaking moment if she lost it just doing something, like you say, in the field, and suddenly, bang, the little, a very important object is gone.
And do you know the story of the soldier? Did that soldier actually survive the war, or did they were they lost in the war?
Yeah, I'm just putting this story together, but it's basically the shooter's arms in Nelson's family, and they are contacting their family to make the presentation, and it's the shooter's arms cousin whose mother wore it. Now, I'm not quite sure probably whether it was a fiance or husband at that particular time, but we're just going to investigate the information further. We're just waiting for the contact to make the presentation for further information. But I just think it's an awesome story and worth talking about.
No, I think it's absolutely brilliant. It also makes me think, like, back in the day, people they gave each other something as a token of love. And also we've got this man with a really great sweatshirt I was looking at before. Keep calm and hide the evidence, I think. No, I think it's hide. Come and join us. I was talking about your top before, but right now, yeah. Go on.
Well, we're kind of talking about hiding evidence because you found some hidden evidence of the First World War and of a romance that happened 100 years ago. Yeah. So in a way, you've got someone hiding the evidence and someone digging up the evidence as well.
Okay, so we've gone full circle. So right now we've got Mikey, we've got John, we've got Philip, we've got Poppy the dog. I'm Margot. What is your name?
David.
David, welcome. So yeah, right now we were just finding out about the object that you found. It's a sweetheart brooch, and it's been given to a woman by her lover, partner, husband, who went and fought in First World War. So now you're trying to find the family. You found the family, and you tried to return the brooch. But we were just talking about, how, that was quite a beautiful thing back in the day. But also we're talking about, history, the stuff that people can find in the ground, and what are we learning from it? Have you found anything on the ground that was of historical importance?
No, not really.
Anything that you found that was good, but it wasn't of historical importance? Any evidence?
I found a spark plug in a river once.
What did you find?
A spark plug.
What is that?
Part of a car in a river.
Okay. Did you sell it? Did you capitalize on it somehow?
I'm fairly sure it got lost somewhere.
Okay. Right, yeah, Mike.
Spark plugs have got a tiny little bit of platinum on the little sparking bit, so they have got some valuable metal. But I think you need like probably about 2,000 spark plugs to actually have it be worth anything.
I have to say, I only recently qualified as a driver, and I don't know what this part of the car is. So yeah.
So basically, when the piston compresses the fuel and air mixture, the spark plug creates a tiny little, it's got like 2 metal contacts which are connected to the distributor, and that puts a high voltage spark across the the 2 metal contacts, which ignites the fuel mixture, which causes the explosion. When you talk about an internal combustion engine, that boom, that is actually pushing the engine along. So that's what the spark plug is for. Diesel engines don't have spark plugs because they just use compression itself to ignite the fuel mixture.
There you go. Well done, Mikey. I mean, I should really just explain how Talkie works. And it is a pop-up talk show where people decide on the subject. So right now we're getting into the detail of how an engine is made. Hello, come and join us if you wish. Just rest your legs and just join the conversation. Talking about historical artifacts. Have you ever found something valuable? Come and join us here. Yeah. So right now we've got David, we've got Philip, we've got John, we've got Mike.
No, but I'm just wondering if in the future something like a spark plug will. Stay there. Stay. It makes us look more busy anyway. But I'm wondering in the future something like a spark plug will be like a historical artifact, and people will say that. That is when we all used to drive cars with petrol engines, and that's what that's from, and no one will know what that is anymore.
So very quickly, just got a new face around the table. Just tell us your name. That's all you need to do. Give us your name.
I'm not hearing you properly.
What is your name?
Muhammad Ayub.
Welcome, Mohammed. We've got David, we've got Philip, we've got John and Mikey. And right now we're talking what will be the artifact, and a Poppy the Poppy. So right now we're talking, so John, so let's say John 100 years from now, what will John from the future be finding in the ground? What would be the objects of importance? And anyone can chip in. What will the future generations tell from the stuff that we drop in the field?
Well, it could be anything, couldn't it? Obviously the currency changes, so it'll probably be the modern currency that we'll be digging up. And we were looking back probably, Elizabeth II is going, whoa, this is old. Going back in time, and of course Charles I now is our new present king, so we'll be digging up his new coinage very shortly.
Okay, so there'll be new coins, but what about is cryptocurrency is just a way to erase history? I don't know. And also, what will people be able to tell from the reign of Charles I? Is he the first, the second?
He's the third. He's the third, yeah.
Third, sorry, I'm not from round here, and things have changed so quickly. I mean, what do you think of this, David? I mean, what do you think people will make of this current moment in time in, let's say, 100 years?
I've not lived long enough to be able to tell you that, honestly.
Okay. What's been a highlight of your young life so far? Sorry, just okay. Wait.
On a talk show. Being here on a talk show, but I just wanted to say, talking about cryptocurrency, there was a guy that dropped his hard disk in the bin, and then he realised actually Bitcoin, the money on this is worth absolutely millions of pounds, and this was in Wales, and he's been trying to get the council to dig up the entire dump to find this hard disk, so it's happening already.
Okay. I mean, we've got somebody there just collecting rubbish, but how do we know there's, there are no valuables in there? So I mean, have you had like a highlight of your life so far? I mean, David, obviously he's very young, so it's very hard for him to pick out the moment. But I mean, Philip, Poppy, have you had what are the highlights of your life?
Going to Las Vegas.
Oh, now we're talking. Why?
Because of all the people and all the entertainment, and It was a great place to visit for the money what you paid.
Okay. So Las Vegas, has anybody here been to Las Vegas? Mikey, have you?
I've been to Boston, but not been to Las Vegas, which is a bit more boring, I think. But I want to ask the question, is it true that whatever happens in Las Vegas stays in Las Vegas?
Okay, so there's a question, is it true? Have things happened in Las Vegas which will just remain there?
No, when I come back from Las Vegas, I told people everything.
You what?
Told people everything, all about my experience.
Okay, so I guess you're not very good at keeping secrets. That's maybe, yeah, no. Okay, so Las Vegas for the entertainment, for everything. What about you, John? What have been, like, obviously your professional and your interest highlight was the recent finding of the item, the brooch. But what about your life highlights?
Well, I think it's children, isn't it? Having children, that's definitely a highlight of my life. And, I mean, I got married late and had my children late, and so I'm an old dad. I've still got them at home, and I'm in my 60s now. And so having your own children later on, it just gives it a bit more valuable, I think, you know, a bit more valuable, and you're a bit more excited as an older dad. So.
All right, so it's interesting. So becoming a parent a little bit later is actually a good thing, because maybe that kind of made you appreciate the whole experience a bit more. Anybody here has got children? No? You've got children?
Grandchildren.
Okay, so no children, but grandchildren.
I'm just say, look after to poor people. Grand people can't afford it, and not just that, look after, not rip off these people. They drop on the floor, you picked up him on your chest. That's my view.
Okay, so look after poor people, but how? I mean, what is the best way? Like, if everybody was to go away and kind of look.
I know, look after poor people. They can't afford it, you know. That's people stealing. The people can't afford it. Look after him. Yeah? Stop the drug. There's a government and these people, rich people selling drug, you know. That's my view. Thank you.
Well, thank you very much. I think it's a really good message. How do we support people who are less fortunate than us? That's one thing that we can be talking about. Having children as a highlight of life. Going to Las Vegas is as a highlight of your life. I'll come back to you, Mikey. But David, you've had a little bit of time to think about some highlights. Could be lowlights, but I prefer highlights. But it's entirely up to you. What's been the kind of, what do you think you're going to be remembered for in 100 years' time? It could be something small or huge. Or something that hasn't happened yet.
Well, I hope to still be around in 100 years.
Oh, yeah? Okay, I mean...
Yeah, it'd be great to be around and have decent health in 100 years, but whether that's going to happen, that could be a different matter, couldn't it? I mean, anybody can be alive for a certain period of time, but it's your health levels that are important, aren't they? And that's it, you know.
Well, this is it. I mean, like, David, do you have any kind of tips on how to kind of live up to 100? Do you have like a bit of a plan? What are the things to kind of do or not do?
Don't die.
I think that's a strong one. Right now we're talking about tips to living over 100 years. Do you have any health tips that you can share? David just says, like, just don't die. That's the best way to live long. Come and join us, by the way. You're welcome. And this is Poppy the puppy. You're welcome to join. So we've got David, we've got Philip, we've got Poppy the puppy, we've got John, we've got Mike and Margaret. What's your name?
Caprice.
Caprice, welcome. And we've got
Sally.
Sally and Brooklyn, welcome. Grab a seat as well. David, I'm sure he can scooch up. So right now we've been talking about what are your tips to staying alive for a long time. John here, he loves history. He digs stuff up out of the ground all the time. There's been a story recently. You dug up a brooch and you tracked back the family from the First World War. So you're kind of doing a bit of, you know, history. But what will we be remembered for? What do you think? Caprice, what do you think you will be remembered for in 100 years' time?
I'm not going to be remembered in 100 years' time, and I'm fine with that. I think this idea that we want to be remembered, I don't think it's important. I think if you live and you enjoy the moment and you're with people, you know, so do you have to be with someone who's famous to be famous? Okay. Do you have to be, you know, a celebrity? Do you have to make money? Do you have to leave a mark? I'm happy not. Oh, yeah.
No, this is a really good point. There's some kind of like puppy interaction going on. But I just wanted to ask, are you going, or are you just? So, what do you think about this idea? Would you like to be remembered in 100 years' time, or actually doesn't matter? You don't want to be a celebrity.
It does not matter to me as long as my children are happy and healthy. That's all that matters to me, and that's how I live my life. Yeah.
I mean, would you like your children to live up to like 100 years old or more? What was the kind of way of bringing up your children to live a long, long life? What are the tips?
Eat healthy and always make sure to look when you're crossing roads, etc. Because you just don't know what's going to happen when you're walking down the road.
Yeah.
That's all, really.
Okay. So it seems pretty simple. I mean, important, but like quite simple things that you can do. That's really amazing. And do enjoy yourself at the festival. We're going to be here, so pop in. Poppy's going to be around, probably. Mike.
Well, I mean, I'm 49 years old, but I already feel like a piece of history. Like yesterday, I was doing a workshop with some kids, and they were coming up with an idea for this session, and I said, "Oh, that sounds a bit like the Gwen Stefani video, the TikTok video," and they were like, "Who's Gwen Stefani?" And I'm like, "Gwen Stefani, the lead singer of No Doubt." No one knows what I'm talking about. Okay. This is what I mean.
I'm gonna go to the youngest person at the table. Do you know Gwen Stefani?
No.
Okay, Mikey, you are obsolete. Right, but Philip and Poppy, the puppy, are going.
Yeah, we've got to go to Burnley to the artisan market.
Okay, what's there? I mean, should we be there instead of here? Is it massive? What are you going to do?
No, it's just about as big as this, what's going on in Nelson.
Okay.
But we've got to go there and get there, park up and have a look round because it shuts at 4.
Okay, but we've got this rule on the Talkieki table, which is that you give us a final thought before you go. It could be something about what we discussed already, could be something completely brand new, could be, you know, hating on the celebrity culture, as Capri's like, yeah, haters gonna hate. Could be anything really, or you know, maybe there's a. Yeah. What would you like to be remembered as? Anything really?
To be honest, I just sort of live for the moment and get the best out of your life and make it a good quality life. And then afterwards, I'm just thinking, it doesn't really matter to me as long as I live the life we've got. We live it to the full and enjoy it.
Okay, so live your life to the full, live in the moment. Is it easier to be in the moment in Las Vegas or in Nelson?
You need a lot of money in Las Vegas to have a decent life.
Thank you very much, Philip and Poppy. Are you staying or are you going?
I'm going to go, yeah.
Okay, give us a final thought.
My final thought is that be kind to people and they'll be kind back to you.
Okay, any tips on how to be? How are you kind to other people?
Oh yes, I'm helpful, kind as much as I can, and generally most people are kind back. But unfortunately, some people are not. But that's just the way life goes.
That's the way the cookie crumbles. But listen, enjoy the market, and yeah, you've been brilliant. Grab one of our cards. But meanwhile, the conversation continues. And who have we got here?
Hi, I'm Zoya.
We've got Zoya. We've got
Madge.
Tucky.
Andy.
What, darling?
Your name?
My name is Margot.
Caprice. And we've got this man just running around here.
Mikey.
Welcome. So right now on Talkieki we're talking about yeah, people moving to Nelson, maybe some kind of personal stories of mental health, but also you know, parenthood. No, but actually this is not first time we're discussing this today on the table. Somebody came here earlier talking about gardening project they got into. Yeah. Oh. Have you done gardening?
I have done gardening, and it is somewhat therapeutic, but yeah, but there are other things I prefer to do that are more therapeutic for me.
Okay, what
so
are
put it
they?
that. The more active I am, the better I am, and so it could be anything from swimming, dancing, walking, volunteering, whatever. But yeah, but being out of my house is much better than being in. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So this is, and actually we start off by talking. What are people's tips for living 100 years or more? Is volunteering part of it? Is moving to Nelson part of it? I mean, who is here kind of planning to live until they're 100 or even more, even older?
Norway, many women live 100 years up. I have seen women smoke outside. Yeah, birthday, 1 year up, then he make party. Norway's many man, women have up 100 years.
Okay.
I live in Norway.
Yeah.
So we need to move to Norway.
What is it about Norway that allows people to live longer? Anybody's been to Norway?
I went to Norway. I've had some friends that have moved there recently from London,
Are they really old?
and now they're kind of having to think about what it's going to be like being over 100. But I mean, basically, there's just more money, isn't there? There's kind of like a welfare system that looks after artists, and kind of people live very healthy lives and seem to have the right amount of leisure time, and I think that leads to a longer life.
Yeah. Okay, so you're not that interested in being 100 years, no?
Because I'm in too much poor health at the moment.
Oh, bless you. Okay, so maybe. But,
If I had a new knee transplant, new spine, maybe.
Maybe you need to move to Norway and everything will be possible. Maybe that's how it works. But
I don't have the money, darling, to move to Norway, but I do.
Is it easy to move to Norway? Would you consider it yourself, Andy?
I mean, this is a big question, isn't it? Because the other thing that I think about Norway is it's a little bit boring. So even though kind of there's all this like huge amounts of money for, well, particularly for artists and to do things, and musicians. Like, my record collection isn't full of kind of Norwegian artists, Norwegian musicians, or it's not. So it's like, when you fund arts like that, does it mean that it's kind of better? Actually, I think sometimes maybe life's a bit more exciting in the slightly sort of like when you're up against it. Yeah, exactly. There's a bit more dynamism, or a bit more up and down. But yeah, I mean, I am very jealous of my friends in Norway, really. But.
I've got a question for you, Bashir. Would you like to live a long life, but it's going to be a boring life?
100 years.
What if you lived over 100 years, but your life was really boring?
Nothing good, nothing. My life is beautiful, nice.
Yeah?
I love life.
What makes your life so beautiful? Give us an insight into your life.
Outside in Pakistan, 47 years I live money country.
Yeah.
I live in GREEK, Greek. I live in Spain, Benidorm. I live in France, money country.
What's the best?
Okay.
What's the best place to live?
I don't know exactly.
So maybe
I don't know exactly. More life after 100 years. I don't know what is experience, and I know which country is good, which people is good.
So maybe a key to being happy is to move around and travel and live in different countries. I mean, would you ever live in another country?
It depends what country would be, where I would be, how I would be.
Yeah, I mean, let's start with maybe, do you have any ideas which country you might be interested in exploring, seeing if you would like to live there?
Saudi Arabia or Morocco or Egypt.
Okay, what is it about these countries that kind of appeals to you?
It links in like ancestors and culture and religion.
Okay, so kind of shared ancestry, culture, religion, so maybe you'll kind of feel at home there, I don't know, maybe you'll just kind of like find something about your family tree. Okay, and what about you? I mean, are there any countries that you would like to live in? Is it Norway? Why not?
I visit Pakistan at least once a year, and I think if someone asked me a few years ago, I would have said
Come and join us if you like. We're just talking about moving around the world. Have you been to another country before? Tenerife. Come and tell us about that.
It's another country.
But yeah, we've got Pakistan here.
Yeah, so I go once a year, and that's the only country I go on. I'm going Rhodes next week, Greece.
Yeah.
But the only country I can actually relax in is Pakistan.
What's so relaxing about Pakistan?
Everyone's chilled out. They just get up when they want. Yeah, there's no mental health issues. They eat good as well. They've got their own farming, the farms. Everything's fresh, and I don't know. That's the only place, and they don't let me lift a finger there as well.
Yeah,
so I've got relatives there. So yeah.
Okay, so this is like a proper holiday. You don't have to do anything. I mean, that probably sounds like a nightmare for you because you would be just like, you wouldn't be able to do anything. Everything would be done.
Can I help you? Can I do the dishes? Can I vacuum? Let me do something. Nothing. Oh, so.
When I'm going on holiday next week, I've got to still look after kids and my partner and everything. There I don't have to worry about anyone because everyone's getting looked after.
Oh, okay. Yeah. So we've got Pakistan, we've got obviously loads of countries that Bashir lived in. Yeah, what?
Before war, Pakistan very nice, beautiful.
Yeah.
Now I was before 1 week before I was in Pakistan. Now it's a little bit different.
No, why? What happened? What's changed? And
Corona, people have no money. People say, give me money, only say money, currency, give me. Really. I was before, 1 week I have ticket. Before, 1 week I was before Pakistan.
Yeah.
Now I go, maybe tomorrow I go Pakistan.
Okay, so that's interesting. So after Corona, maybe there's like less money splashing around. Yes.
I'd say the country has become corrupt because of the prime ministers.
Okay. So we
Prime Minister though.
Yeah, okay. So we're getting political here.
I mean, earlier on we had a guy called Tony that was getting very upset about Imran Khan and the treatment of Imran Khan. He was getting very upset, and he felt that Pakistan had kind of turned a corner in a bad way. In a in a wrong one. In a bad way. Because of what that was earlier on, we were talking about who's the greatest of all time, and he said Imran Khan, but he's not being treated like the greatest of all time.
But Zoya, do you know anything about this? Because you said which prime minister? Are there many?
Yeah, so I recently had my great granddad come and stay with us from Pakistan for about 6 weeks, and before that, all I knew of was Imran Khan. But he's obviously introduced me to Nawaz Sharif, and he's lived in Pakistan all his life, so he's a hardcore Nawaz Sharif fan. And obviously here in the UK, not many people like Nawaz Sharif, because he's like responsible for a lot of the corruption that's gone on in Pakistan, from my perspective anyway. And from what I'm hearing, Imran Khan is really trying to build a bit of a foundation and a real infrastructure for Pakistan to really sort of move in a different direction in terms of how they look after the economy and the people. But I mean, from my perspective, I understand English, and Imran Khan is brilliant at speaking English, so I like when he talks, so I'm kind of a little bit pro Imran Khan, which my granddad was not a fan of. But I don't know, I think that Pakistan is a beautiful country, but I think that it's got its own politics because of the people and the mentality there, unfortunately.
Okay, so there's
now people is beautiful, no good people.
Because of the poverty there. Poverty makes people, poverty puts people in that situation. Absolutely, yeah.
Okay, 1 second. We've had what was it then? Yeah, Dag's just left. But that's not a problem because we've got a new face joining us. Give us your name.
Hello, my name's Selena.
Selena, welcome. So at the point of you joining, we were just discussing politics of Pakistan actually. Actually, we're talking about how difficult it is. Yeah, no, of course. If you need to put your leg up as well, that's possible. But I mean, we've been talking about how difficult it is to make changes and change like mentality in a place that kind of runs in a particular way. I mean, Margot, what would you like to see happening? What would you like to see happening in Nelson? I mean, what would you like to? Yeah, give us a final thought before you go.
Thank you for everything.
You're very welcome.
Margot, keep the name, girl. Keep the name going.
Yeah, we will keep the Margot flag flying high. But thank you so much for staying and getting involved. But yeah, we've been talking about corruption. We've been talking about we've heard actually a little bit about corruption in Romania. Actually, the whole conversation came about because one of the young people said, "I want to have money because in Romania, if you get into trouble with police, you just pay them off. So you need money to keep going." And we're hearing that maybe in Pakistan, the corruption is also a real thing.
Too much corruption. Before was no too much. Now come on more with Corona, with common corruption together. Come on.
Okay, so it's just like different degrees of corruption. Is there any corruption in Nelson? Oh yeah, I'll come to you.
Yeah, there's a lot of corruption in this country, and especially Nelson. Yeah, no, definitely, I reckon there is, 100%.
Yeah. Where? I mean, is it obvious? Is everybody kind of aware of this? Where are the kind of corrupted places? Yeah.
Probably what I'm going to say is going to bore everyone, but I'm going to say it anyway because that's talkioke. You can say what you want. But I watched a YouTube documentary about Pakistan, and the big problem with Pakistan is it actually borrowed too much money on the basis of its agricultural production. But then we had a war in Ukraine that put the fuel prices up, and so Pakistan can't import fertilizer, so its agricultural production's gone down, and at the same time all of its fuel demand has gone up. So actually, it can't afford to pay all the money back that it's borrowed. And yeah, sure, there's corruption, but the bigger problem is actually the corruption of the global economic system, where Pakistan was encouraged to borrow all this money, and now it's actually the people that are suffering.
Okay, so it's actually not just Pakistan, it's not just the UK, which is a good maybe or bad news, I don't know. It's actually, corruption is a global problem. I mean, what do you make of this?
Yeah, definitely. I agree that corruption is a global problem. Anywhere where there's money to be made, there's going to be a few people at the top that want all of the money. And trickle-down economics does not work. From the time with Reagan and Thatcher and even before. If we had someone perhaps more like FDR, who was Franklin Delano Roosevelt, and he was after World War II, and he was the one who broke up all the monopolies, and that's what we need to do now, is to break up all the monopolies and get rid of a lot of the privatization. I'm not saying that you can't have a private entity, but it can't be controlled exclusively by shareholders, because then the people that work for these places, they have no say in what's done. No, so that's not democratic at all.
Okay, so let's break up corruption. Maybe there's something that we can learn from the American presidency.
You know, China, no corruption, I think.
So that's interesting. Okay, listen, you've just dropped something. I think people disagree. Corruption in China?
So I visited China, and the phrase that I got taught when I got there, because I went there basically illegally to play music under the radar, and I was like, what's going to happen when I get into China with my guitar and my amps and stuff, and it's really obvious that I've come to play and I don't have a visa or a visa for playing music. And he said the phrase we have in China is the emperor is the mountains are high and the emperor is far away. So basically anything like there's so much underground activity that can happen in China because it's such a huge country that you can get away with pretty much anything, but then once it's kind of above a certain level, yeah, they're really hard on it and kind of like it's all under control. But there's absolutely loads of like quite black market, like odd stuff going underneath, because there's a small city in China is like 10 million people. Like that's a small place, so it's kind of like loads of weird stuff going on.
Okay, so emperor's far away, mountains are high. Is it the same in the Pendle area? Pendle Hill is Pendle Hill high? Is there kind of activity happening below the ground? Do you know?
As someone part of the younger community, I feel like things are a lot more basis covered, so we see these undercover activities on a daily basis more than adults would, simply because the younger community are a lot more open with each other and we're a lot more comfortable with each other, and so these things kind of just come out into the open, and it's been normalized, like gang culture, drug use, especially among my age, teenagers, where you get excited to explore and you kind of lose grasp of where to draw the line. And I feel like at this age it's kind of just for the plot, for life, like give your life some character, but I feel like people just don't know how to do that in the right way. And I think that's where people they don't know where to draw the line, and that's when corruption starts to occur.
Okay, so this is a really interesting point, and kind of you're talking about maybe this kind of divide in different kind of perspectives or experiences of the area depending on ages, and also this other thing which is kind of coming back, which is where do you draw a line when something is too much, where something is just getting you into this kind of sketchy territory. I mean, when you went and played music in China, did you feel like a renegade, or did you feel like how did you feel? How did you know that was actually okay?
I mean, I felt nervous getting off the plane, and then as soon as you kind of like walk through and just realise no one cares what you do. I mean, even as like a Western guy over there, like people see it, but they're used to it. But no, I don't know if I felt kind of like we were, don't know, being revolutionaries by going and playing noisy rock music and kind of like in little places. But yeah, we tried to bring a sort of like a slightly different vibe to it. But yeah, the thing that they're in China with music anyway, the thing that they're kind of like really on top of is lyrics and kind of like and what you might be kind of. So they want to see all the kind of songs they do, which is fine for me because I only play instrumental music, so it's harmless.
So they can't really get you. You've seen through this, but yeah. So I mean, which direction do we want to take the conversation?
Well, I can maybe link these two things together because I was we're doing this collaboration with this Chinese girl that was from a particular city in China. And she was talking about the club scene in China, and there was actually a lot of drugs going down in the club scene in China, but it's all run by the children of the communist leaders. So that in a way that's corruption, it's drugs, it's youth culture, it's music, all mixed in together.
Okay, so should we be talking about starting an underground club where in Nelson?
Yeah, I think we should start an underground club because first off, it's just gonna be fun overall. You can.
That was your sound effects.
Oh, yeah, it'll be fun. You can like do anything under there. The police can't find you. That's good. And it's just gonna be fun. It's just gonna be like all a dark room. It's just gonna be fun. Like it's just gonna be like a fun entrance and everything.
Yeah. Your space.
Yeah, it's just gonna be your space too.
All right. So give us your name as well.
Oh, Diana.
Should be so Diana's underground club. Watch out, but you may miss it because it's going to be so underground. You're going, so give us a final thought, and then we'll carry on with the discussion.
A quick last thought on corruption as a whole basis. Personally, I think it comes down to economy, and I'm not sure who it was who mentioned loaning out money. But I'm not sure if you've heard the phrase, when America sneezes, the rest of the world catches a cold. And this was seen back in Civil War when Germany was loaning out money from America. And then America needed these reparations when they were fighting against the USSR. Germany didn't have the funds for that. So that made Germany collapse. And because America needed all of these loans back that other countries had borrowed, not only was America suffering, but the rest of the world was suffering because the banks in America had collapsed, the rest of the banks around the world had collapsed. So I feel like we need to stabilize our currency around the world instead of having it depend on one continent or one country or one place of income. I feel like every country should have that stability in their wealth.
I think it's absolutely brilliant, and you gave us a bit of a kind of context as well. So thank you so much for this. So let's think about things on a global perspective. How do we stabilize other countries before we talk about corruption? Maybe that's
But it's, I think it's a bit sad that it always ends up coming down to money. Because apart from the one Romanian kid, no one really cared that much about money around the table today. Well, yes and no. I mean, I have to because, in order to drive the van, I've got to fill it up with diesel to bring the talkie-walkie table. No, in a word. So you do need money to do the things you want to do, but it's not. In the end, no one really. It's just a currency. So why, we just go on and on and on talking about money all the time. Final thought, Diana? No. Final thought.
On what?
On anything. I've got a question for you.
Yeah?
How much will you charge for drinks and snacks in your underground club, or is it going to be free?
They're all for free, guys.
I'm coming. I'm going to join this club. Okay, give us a final thought. I mean, is money important to you, or is it just like, whatever?
I don't really care about money, to be honest. I like spending money, though, so I'm not...
What was the last thing you spent it on? Something that you need or something that you want?
Usually stuff I don't need. I just like buying stuff, and especially treating my kids, and yeah. So money comes and it just goes really quick. I don't mind spending, especially my lads. Whatever they want, I buy them. But there again, I work for a living, but then I just give my time away. It's like you mentioned voluntary work, and I do give a lot of time, so I'm not really bothered about money, but like you said, we do need money though.
Yeah, of course.
So it's and I think we're suffering because of these countries. Like I think we started suffering since Ukraine and Russia went into war together. That's when our cost of living went up, especially fuel prices and gas and electric and everything else. So yeah, and I'm going to the club now.
Just get some snacks and drinks for us. We're gonna join you shortly as well. But okay, so maybe this is like kind of a natural kind of pause in the conversation. But Bashir, what are your final thoughts? I mean, what do you think about this? Anything that we've been discussing?
I mean, normal all life. I work restaurant, takeaway, marriage also but nothing, no like food. One plate.
Yeah.
No half, other one quarter. So I eat.
Okay, so
68-year-old.
Yeah.
But me no eat. No, I don't know. I look eat.
So okay, so eat kind of like modest food, eat less and eat healthy, and we'll see in 100 years' time you're probably going to be around, just looking as fit as you are right now. Thank you so much, Bashir. No, thank you. Will you be coming to the club? Is there an age limit?
No, everyone can come.
Okay, everyone's. Will you come to the club with us?
I don't know which is your channel name.
We will give you a card. So, but we won't advertise the club on the channels because it's underground. Basically, that's why.
We could be like pirate radio, like 07789. I see. Keep it locked.
Keep it locked.
Yeah. Yeah.
This is Talkie Pop-Up Talk Show. Keep it locked. We're going underground, but right now we're just kind of overground a little bit. But we've got a new face to the table. So we've got Diana, we've got Zoya, we've got Mikey, we've got Caprice. Caprice is going, and we've got Andy and Margot. What's your name?
Shreeb.
Shrimp. Well, welcome. Shrimp.
Shreeb.
Shrimp.
Just call me Shebi.
Okay. Shabi, okay, I got you. You lot are welcome to join as well. Right now we're talking about starting an underground club in Nelson. Maybe there's one existing, we don't know, but so far as we know, there's no one club. Caprice, you are bouncing, so give us a final thought. Are you coming to a club with us?
Yeah, I will definitely. And if there's dancing, yes. Oh, yeah, then I'll be there. Yeah.
I mean, are there any particular types of dancing that you enjoy?
Well, I'm showing my age, but I'm a disco girl. I love disco music, so yeah.
I think you've got the right face makeup for disco as well, something's telling me. But I mean, from the whole conversation, are there any particular subjects that you're going to come away thinking about, or something you heard?
I think most of the subjects, they're what you talk about all the time, generation to generation. It's the same thing, how to make a living, how to pay your bills, what's most important to you, what makes you happy. So I think that's just going to be an ongoing discussion. And hopefully it'll start to become more balanced. And we will start to see the corruption, they will topple, and we'll start to see the people that are working really hard, that they'll start to get their due. So I'd love to see all that happen.
Okay, so two things in a way. One is just keep fighting the good fight, and maybe see, let's just see a change in this kind of corruption.
Don't back down. Don't back down. Don't let people get away with anything. You've got to get out and vote. You've got to make a difference. You've got to, because if you let them get away with it, then that's exactly what happens. They get away with it.
Okay, so don't let them get away with it. And the second thing is the generational kind of differences. There's nothing new in that as a phenomenon.
No, and if anything, I feel for the younger people when I hear them talking, and I want to hear more about what they have to say. And I'm hoping that they will be able to have more of a stake in what's going to happen to them. Yeah.
Okay. Thank you very much, Caprice. Go and enjoy disco dancing. I hope you go disco dancing. So thank you for stopping by and getting involved in the Stokioki. So yeah, we're just kind of collecting some final thoughts before we kind of bounce on a different direction. And anyone can have a go in the middle, really.
I've got to go and check back on my Yes Hub activity, but then I could have a grow later on.
We will be here.
Because it's a little bit cheap.
No, it's not tough. I didn't find it tough actually. I found it very easy actually.
It's quiet today, isn't it, compared to many years? Yeah. Just on the topic of money again, I just think we need to, as a society, look at ways that that move us away from being so profitable, and everything's about increasing money and more greed and more this, and it's just about where can we find something or a space or a thinking that's more sustainable and more sort of, you know, modest with its, you know, living and everything. So yeah.
I mean, people were saying, you know, about shops in Nelson. I mean, do you think there's, you know, can we do something that isn't shops? Something, I mean, can something happen in Nelson that is helping people see this other side of life, which is not money driven?
I think something like a decent library or sort of space that would open till late, like a space that could hold, you know, exhibitions, artwork, would do really, really well around here, just because there is no open door space sort of away from those 9 to 5 hours, really. Yeah.
Okay, so evening activity, maybe there could be like a book section in the underground club. Just trying to merge things. I was, you know, one venue, multi-purpose. But thank you so much for this, Andy. Any views on this, or anything? Any final thoughts from yourself?
I have to go. Is that what you're saying?
No. In fact, I'm saying the opposite. No. Give us an interim thought. Give us something to kind of to welcome Mikey into the middle. Can be about something.
Right, so actually, what I was thinking about, so I know Zoe, you've got to go, but what Madge was saying as well, just about actually in Pakistan there's a much more kind of like chill lifestyle. Is that there's more leisure time? Is that kind of I know kind of because it's Mirpur, isn't it, that kind of like a lot of kind of people's families are from, and that's quite agricultural and like farming, but it's like basically people are if people have got families there and they enjoy that sort of lifestyle, they probably enjoy more agricultural, like leisure time in Nelson as well, or kind of like in the UK. That's interesting because like the Bradford narrative around kind of like Asian culture is definitely like super entrepreneurial and kind of like it's about people like working dead hard because, you know, they came to, I guess, send money back to the families, didn't they? But I wonder about this idea of kind of like, more opportunities for a town based around leisure or not work, and actually if people were to have that and like, well, how much money do you need just in order to kind of and to value more spare time over more money? That's quite an interesting take. If it's like, if that's how life is back in those bits of Pakistan, that would be good to sort of learn about.
Okay, so let's kind of explore the chill culture in Pakistan. Should Nelson be a chill capital?
Well, I mean, it's not necessarily just chilling, but I think I think Nelson, in a way, has to come up with an alternative to being a commercial retail centre, and this is possibly an avenue, and it is about culture, but it's also about socialising, relaxing, and all of those kind of things. Because I think if you're not going to be about money, you have to be about something that's even more compelling, you know. And actually, people only want money in order to be able to socialise, to be able to do things, to be able to impress their friends, to be able to talk to their friends, to, you know, all of those things, experience new things. And Nelson could easily do that, I think. We've got so many things here that we could just use a bit more.
Okay. So thank you, Mikey.
I mean, we could talk about it, Margaret. But I suppose when you were doing the kind of work with Eastern European and kind of like arrivals to the UK, there's that thing about money going back home as well, isn't there? So kind of like, so the idea in kind of places that have had a lot of migration, the kind of new arrivals almost have to like prove their sort of worth by by making a lot of money, because they're also sending money back home. So they're not just thinking about what am I earning here and how's it going to improve my life. They're thinking about the surplus is going somewhere else, and maybe the British Asian community in Nelson and other places now isn't sending that money back home, so they may be now thinking, oh well, actually perhaps now's the time where we could think about buying that time back for ourselves.
So is money and this kind of like productivity just part of the migrant story? Do people just like, you know, do you work hard? Or have you worked hard when do you work hard? What is it about people who are kind of obsessed with working hard, earning a lot of money? I mean, is it all about money for you? Is money important to you? What's that? Come closer.
I'm retired.
Oh, you're retired. Oh, congratulations. Come and grab a seat and just enjoy yourself. Happy retirement. Are you a police?
No, my Alice bike is from a push bike.
Okay. How is... Oh, by the way, we've got Andy, we've got Mikey, I'm Margaret. I think we're going to swap out as well. But give us your name.
Tony.
Tony, welcome, Tony. I mean, what have you retired from?
A number of jobs.
Oh, yeah. Any favourites?
Driving, forklifts and stuff.
Oh, cool.
What's paid me off being retired is the cost of living, the cost of electric and gas. I can't afford to live, so there's bills I don't pay.
Oh.
Easy as that. Got so much money coming in, if there's more going out, something doesn't go out, does it? You can rob Peter to pay Paul, but then Peter wants his money back one day.
Yeah.
So, it's no fun being retired. I worked all my life to help a girl.
Yeah, okay, so this is like the other side of retirement. Obviously now you've got a lot of time and you don't have to work, but that also means that you're struggling financially, and there are some bills that you don't pay. I mean, we were just talking about money. Come and join us, by the way. You can just listen as well.
A year or two ago, we were supposed to be linked with inflation.
Oh, one second.
Yeah. Is that your dog?
No, I got it.
No, okay.
Supposed to be linked to inflation. They give us something like 2 or 3% a year or two ago, and they really begrudged giving us 10% this time. But if you average it over the last 2 or 3 years, we've dropped our money a lot.
Okay. So, I mean, we have been talking about money a lot today, actually, and maybe saying, you know, obviously money is important. For some migrants, actually, this is like when you move to a new country, it's all about accumulating money because you're sending some back. But actually, what about people who, you know, have worked all their lives? Where is the money going to look after them and help them pay bills? I mean, is cost of living, you know, something that you experience as well, Andy? I mean, the high cost of living right now, is it hard for musicians? Will you be going to China?
Yeah, I don't think I managed to bring any money back from China. But I mean, yeah, thinking about balancing out, especially with that sort of cost of living stuff. I was kind of, you know, I live in Halifax, lived in Bradford before then. It's probably the same for people in Pendle. If you live somewhere relatively cheap, then kind of those margins were a bit smaller, weren't they? So kind of we were impacted by it, but I also think in the end, I live somewhere where my outgoings are like much cheaper than friends that are sort of living in either in London or places where kind of I felt very badly for the businesses. It seemed like much more kind of it was friends with kind of businesses that really struggled when the energy prices came up, and you've seen that kind of quite a few places disappear around kind of or new people that were starting new businesses that sort of worked out what they were going to do, had their dreams, and then it just sort of disappeared.
Okay, so that must have been like really hard. We're just being attacked by balloons, which I don't mind, by the way. Do you like balloons?
I haven't got any. My old man's grown up, kids and grandkids.
Okay, so but you can keep these balloons if you want to. You can share them with me. Yeah, just give them home so that exactly. But okay, so maybe actually when you something that I picked up from what you're saying, if you live in a small town or a small place, not a huge city, then your outgoings are a little bit smaller, and maybe it's just a little bit more affordable to get by. I mean,
your income's lower as well, though, in these cheaper places. I mean, with my pension, £185, you couldn't afford to live in London. No way, could you? You couldn't.
I live in London. I can't afford to live in London, so I feel that pain. Mikey?
Yeah, I mean it's a tough one when I mean it's just the same for everyone all around the world. I just find it a bit strange that everyone's suffering. If somebody has got to be benefiting from this, is it just the super rich that are benefiting from it? And if so, what's going to happen? Because it just seems like, you know, we heard about Pakistan, they're suffering there, probably even more than we are here. You know, go everywhere around the country, people are really struggling for money, and nothing's really changed apart from everything got more expensive.
Okay, so who is benefiting from other people not doing so well?
The people, there are people in places that are profiteering through people's hardships. take for instance, you want to talk about the migrants. I didn't really want to talk about the migrants, but Circle is one of the big people that are doing all the hotels. Now, government take over a hotel, give the landlord a lot of money for a couple of years, refurbish it after, but Circle, they sack all the staff and bring in their own. So you're making our people redundant. I don't know where they get their people from, but there's a lot of ours get redundant, the hotels get commandeered, we've got no say in it, and there's people in government and their cronies have got shares in these big companies and they are profiteering. And the same as the gas and the electric, half of our people up there have got a lot of shares in it, and if it's not them, it's the cronies, the same as your PPE was sold off to the cronies. And I'm losing my temper. I don't want to swear.
But this is okay. Actually, what you
gets my back off.
But this is interesting what you're saying, because previously you were saying, oh, things are done like this in this country, whatever. But actually, it's about a global issue with people in power. Maybe profiteering.
When we give our aid to different countries, it's so corrupt in their countries. I saw a documentary on telly. It was like Panorama, so it wasn't made up. Years ago, we gave a load of baby food to a company because the people were hungry and all that, and the people in government and the people distributing it were selling it to farmers to feed the cattle instead of the babies.
Okay, so it's like some proper scheming going on there, Mikey. I mean, are you annoyed at potentially being, played around with by the...
I mean, the weird thing is, I've stopped being annoyed just because it's just been happening for so long that it's almost like now it's just the thing with the PPE that you mentioned, Tony. It's just like, in a way, I should be really angry about that, because that was a crisis, and in the COVID crisis, everyone was supposed to be pulling together, and then there was someone making billions selling dodgy PPE equipment. But it's been going on for so long now, and there's so many dodgy deals. It's almost like I've reached a point where I'm not angry anymore, because it just seems to be how it is now. Do you know what I mean?
Okay, I'm just going to ask these people, are you angry at the government, or are you just like, well, I don't care anymore? Are you angry at the government? Oh, great. Where you migrated from? Tell us. Which country did you migrate from? We will never find out. I'm going to guess somewhere in Eastern Europe. I could be wrong. Come and join us, by the way, talking about the government. Do you care about the government?
No.
Whoa, fantastic. We've got Andy, we've got Tony, we've got Mikey. My name is Margot. This is Tokioki. What's your name?
Osama bin Laden.
Can I call you Osama?
I thought you were dead.
I thought you were dead.
Maybe that was a fabrication. We just don't know. All right.
Escobar's lost son.
Okay, so you've got a very interesting lineage, but welcome. What's your name?
Terrorist. I can't say it.
Terry, can I call you Terry? Terry the terrorist. Glorious, is this your name, or is it just like your personality trait? But right now we are talking about, the government, and Tony was saying about lots of different schemes and kind of dodgy dealings that the governments on a global scale are doing, but do people even care anymore?
I do. I'd just like to, this man over here, he's called Mike, isn't it? Mike was saying that he's not upset anymore. Well, I'm sorry, Mike, I disagree with you. People like you, there's too many people like you who just accept it. If nobody speaks up, it'll never ever change unless people like just me and you, ordinary people, speak out.
Okay. So this is interesting. We've got new people kind of being curious. Come and join us. This is Tokioki talking about the government. We're just talking about, are people just too passive about the government's dodgy dealings? Do we even have the power to stand up to the government? And right now we've got Glorious, we've got Terry, we've got Osama, we've got Andy, we've got Tony. My name is Margot. This is Mike.
I'm Zara.
Zara, welcome. Come and join us. You don't have to say anything. You can just listen. Yeah. Sorry.
You've lost the Osama.
Oh, Osama's gone. Yeah. Eid Mubarak. Oh yeah, Eid Mubarak, absolutely all the way. Eid Mubarak, people. So right now we're talking about, I mean, are people just a bit, I don't know, numb about the government and all the kind of dodgy dealings the government is doing, the PPE scandal? Are we just accepting what the powerful people are doing?
I don't think they're numb. I think they are aware, but they know that they can't do anything about it, so they don't do anything. Does that make sense?
Yeah, I mean, how do you, where do you stand on this? Yeah.
I think what it is we're only told what they want us to know from their dodgy schemes. Is that a political move for them? Or do they just want us to? Do they only want us to know? Maybe they only tell us what they want us to know, and they use these as manoeuvres to maybe move certain bodies around on certain seats. So we just spectators, really. I feel like we don't really have an influence. I think that's taken away from us without us even knowing, really.
Okay, so so don't be a spectator, be a participant. Actually, this is what it's all about. This is about people deciding on the subjects or at the. We never got your name. What's your name?
Her name's Itra. Her name's Itra. Yeah.
Okay, so right now, so are we just spectators? Are we just, is it just like life is just like cinema?
But I'm gonna go look around and I'll come back later. Then is that okay?
Give us a final thought. Give us something. Throw something into the conversation so we can talk about it.
Final thought about what exactly?
About anything at all. I mean, because are you coming or you're staying? Yeah, what's your dissertation? We want to know your dissertation.
My dissertation was on institutional racism in the criminal justice system, so it's not exactly the government. So it's a bit different.
What were your findings? What was your kind of line of inquiry?
My findings were that the government can be institutionally racist, but they're not aware of it. And they need more people that are like diverse within the government to help them become aware of it, and then overall they can like look at their policies and see what is racist, what isn't racist, and come together and end that basically. So that was what my dissertation was on, and that was my findings.
I mean, can I ask you a question? Sorry, we'll never let you go. No, obviously you can go and come back, but do you find yourself being on the kind of research observer, spectator, analysis person, or do you see yourself actually advising the government in the future or now?
More of a researcher and spectator, But within the research, you do give like suggestions on how it can be solved and how you can advise the government as well,
And so is getting more diversity in those structures part of the solution? Are there other solutions as well?
Getting diversity is important because it gives you a lot of different background perspectives, and it can help you see because some people they might be racist without realizing, because it's just something that they've known their whole life, and there's something they've been taught, and they might not know, actually what I'm doing is wrong. So when you introduce more diverse people into it, they can make you aware, like, hang on, this is actually how it is, this is how it is, and then obviously that helps make it less racist, basically.
Okay. Yeah. All right. So thank you so much. You only just kind of came in, dropped the mic, moment, and you go in again. But do come back actually. Maybe we'll just kind of a final thought all around, and then maybe we just see what else we can move on with the conversation. Well, thank you so much. You lot. You're most welcome. So enjoy the festival. Okay, Tony. So we were talking about this. I mean, some people are not aware. Maybe, I mean, has it ever occurred to you? Maybe the people who are doing the dodgy dealings, maybe that's all they knew all their lives. Maybe they don't even know what they're doing.
I mean, I think there is a little bit about that because they're so used to dealing with their friends. It's like, Boris Johnson thought nothing of there was some sort of thing with a loan. He got a loan from somebody and the guy got a job at the BBC. That's how they normally work. They didn't think that was wrong. They just thought that was how you do business. Do you know what I mean? And to a certain extent, we would do that as well. We would go, I'll do this, you scratch my back, I'll scratch yours. But when it's like the head of the BBC and the BBC are giving information, then it becomes all distorted because it becomes from this very elitist perspective, because everyone's in the elite giving their friends jobs.
Maybe people like Boris Johnson taking loans from their friends. They don't even know. They're actually quite innocent. They didn't know they were doing anything wrong. I mean, do you believe this? I mean, do politicians and influential people, are they just not aware? Yeah, is it going to be shouting? Because if it's shouting, then I'm not that interested in that. What are you going to say?
Imran Khan Zindabad!
Okay, so Imran Khan, it's funny because we keep on talking about Imran Khan. What do you want to say about him?
He's the greatest leader of all time.
Okay, so this is funny because this is how we started this conversation. We're talking about the biggest, the most influential people. A lot of people backed up Imran Khan. Why?
Because he's not a thief. He has stolen nothing from Pakistan.
Okay. So is he a role model? I mean, like, yeah.
He's my idol.
Okay.
So is Cristiano Ronaldo.
Okay. So too. I mean, your wall is big enough for me.
Do you hate Imran Khan?
What's that?
Do you hate Imran Khan?
No, I don't, of course I don't hate him, but it's interesting you talk, because we started off talking about Imran Khan much earlier on today when we were talking about greatest of all time. And one person said Cristiano Ronaldo, another person said Imran Khan, and you've just said both of them at the same time.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, so what is it about? I mean,
do you know the Prime Minister of Pakistan right now? He's the son of a.
Okay. He's a son of a bitch.
Yeah.
Okay.
He has stolen money from our country.
I mean, we have been talking about corruption, and actually somebody said it's a global issue. It's not just Pakistan. We had Romanian perspective as well.
There's racism in England right now.
Okay, where? I mean, how do you? Do you experience it?
Yeah, he experienced racism.
In what way? In what way? In what way? I mean,
because he's black and I'm white.
Okay. All right, but you know we've heard from somebody who did a dissertation on racism in big institutions, and they said that people actually sometimes are not aware that they are racist just because they've never experienced.
No, it's interesting because we were talking about racism in London once, and there was this mixed race family, and they said that there was racism in their family based on how dark, because there are different shades of skin for different colours.
There are different shades.
How do you take one?
You've just it's pretty easy. Mikey, show the man. Okay, and we're changing the batteries. We are just kind of swapping out with Mikey, but we're talking about, well, since you've left, we're talking about institutional racism. We're talking about corruption. That's a recurrent theme. We were talking about somebody was saying in big institutions, people who are racist, they don't actually know that they're racist, and what we need is more diversity in those big positions to call it out, because people are just not aware. Boris Johnson getting a loan from his mate, that's just what he does. He's not necessarily thinking.
I got judgment on racists. I got judgment on racists. Like, the news, like when people come from Pakistan or something, when people come from Pakistan, they call immigrants. And when people come from, like, let's say, white people country, let's just say, like no offense, but white people country, let's say, like Ukraine or anything, people will say that, what's it called, it's the refugees and everything in it. But then even the same thing that's happening in Pakistan, a war and thing, when people from Pakistan, when they come here, people think that, what's it called, or the immigrants, they just came for no reason, but actually they're refugees, and then it's not like fair, right? It's not the government or poverty or anything. It's mostly the news people, like BBC News and everything, like the main ones. It's like ITV News and the BBC News. The only people that make a change in life are the people like who call everyone equally. So it's not like the news people like be like, oh, the immigrant and everything, but it's people that around you make a change. So if the news want to make a change, they should treat everyone fair.
Yeah, and I think you made a really great point. There's sometimes a language that is being used, just because, say, the BBC uses it, doesn't mean that it's necessarily sending the right message. And maybe there are different ways of talking about people who have migrated, and some of it is maybe a bit charged with, I don't know, maybe racist undertones. Yeah,
I mean, I think there's a point because we had the Ukraine conflict, and they had a lot of refugees from there, and rightly so. People were like, we need to help out these people. But just before then was the conflict in Afghanistan that was still going on, and the refugees from Afghanistan that were escaping the Taliban. I think weren't as well looked after, perhaps, especially I think in travelling through Europe compared to the Ukrainian refugees.
Okay.
We abandoned them in Afghanistan. 20 years we were over there. We made a bit of difference. The Yanks, the French, all the Allies. All we did was made it. Well, we helped the ladies in that get education all through the time we were there. But all the people that were translating and helping us and working with us, we abandoned them. We abandoned them. And who's took power? The Taliban. So what's going to happen to all them people? There's a lot of them people being murdered this day. There is people being murdered. There's people being persecuted. The ladies are not allowed to go to further education anymore. We've abandoned them. The one in Iraq, that was an illegal war. We all know that. They're on about making Tony Blair. Sir Tony Blair, he should have been hung for war crimes.
Okay, so maybe there's not enough kind of consequences for... Oh gosh, okay, right, so Andy, and you're going as well, so I mean, do you have any kind of final thoughts, anything that we discussed, or maybe some new thoughts, and then I'll come to you?
It's been great to hear such like a sort of global conversation happening in Pendle, because a lot of time we're talking about really, really specific things, which is nice, but it's just sort of good to join it all up today as well. But I'm thinking about like interventionism and what it's like when people sort of do interventions or feel like they have to do interventions, because there's a bit of ego to that, isn't there? Like, oh, we need to go to this place and sort it out, or we need to I wonder about whether a sort of low intervention approach or kind of almost allowing things to be as they are is another way of working, or whether that's kind of part of the global problem is that everyone wants to do something somewhere else or kind of change everything to be the same as it is here. But yeah,
can you be making an intervention in Nelson from Halifax? Yeah.
How can we do something in here that isn't that sort of intervening or interfering? It's just sort of working with the good things that are here and build on, which I'm going to go and start doing now.
All right, thank you, Andy. He's going to be videoing. But yeah, so has the UK got a massive ego?
What do you mean by ego?
Well, because Andy was saying that maybe when countries kind of, go and feel like they need to intervene in another country, say Afghanistan we were talking about, does it come from a place of an ego? Are they like a bit kind of like, oh yeah, we are the best, we're going to sort this out? Has Britain got an issue with that?
I think it's sometimes, because sometimes Britain helps out. It depends on who's helping out. If it's Afghanistan, Britain and the USA start helping, then it was Britain. I think Britain just it copies another a place. So if it's USA helping, Britain will help as well. So it has to be together and everything.
Okay.
So,
was that what you were going to say? Or
no, I was going to say another.
Yeah, go on.
So I was going to say this happened to me in my experience. I was in Burley Thompson Park. I was just going to cross the road from the no entry sign is on Thompson Park. I was going to cross, and then my cousin just ran on the road. I quickly grabbed this car, start beeping and everything, and then he goes to me, or make sure she looks out where she's going, and I go okay, but then she saw still swearing and everything, so I left it, but then she came back, she goes to me, go back where you came from. I go to her, how can I go back where I came from? If I was born in Britain, I can't go back underneath, I can't go back to my mother's womb and thing. She goes, well, go back where your mom and dad came from. I go, my mom and dad were here, they were born here, but then she stopped being quiet and everything. So I go to her, then why don't you go back where you came from? And she said the same thing. She goes, I was from Britain. I go, that's the same thing you're saying to me. I'm from Britain, and you're saying it to another white Pakistani person. And then she got really angry, and then she went and she goes, then she starts being racist and everything. So then I just told the police about it and everything.
Yeah. Okay, so it's really crazy, but this kind of keeps on happening, keeps on returning. But it's interesting how, you challenge that attitude, and how often, how easy people find it to challenge this, and why is it happening all the time?
There's no way to justify this kind of behavior, but sometimes the environment that people grow up in and the views that are put upon them as they grow up can influence their actions in the future. And it's understandable when many children are raised in an almost cult-like environment where these beliefs are put upon them that this race is superior to this race, or this race is inferior and we're better than them. And going back to when you said that does the UK have an ego? To an extent, yes. And I'm saying that as someone from the UK, but the UK does have a very big ego. They'll try and sort something out and then they'll abandon it and they'll leave it. And in many situations, it worsens it than if you were to leave that country and let it grow and let it develop itself. And when that abandonment starts, that's when corruption rises even further than it already had done. Because you have a high, and then you have a really bad low. Whereas if you're already low, the only place you can go is up. But if you just drop it there, it goes straight down. And you can't go in to intervene and help and feel like it's your place to say, all right, I've done my work here, I'm done. You shouldn't have intervened in the first place. You shouldn't start something that you can't finish. And with programs that the UK have began in other countries, those programs should stay in place. Those programs should not be brought back due to funding. If you know you can't fund that long term, you shouldn't put it forward in the first place.
So it's about kind of thinking. Thank you. So it's about kind of thinking a long-term impact, not just on the spur of a moment, go and intervene. But also, I wonder, is the British ego good for anything? Are there any good things to be gleaned from that? I'll come to you. I'll just come to you, Mikey.
Well, my dad is he's originally born in what is now Pakistan, and he believes that Britain is the best country in the world, and I think that is most people that are in Britain believe that Britain is the best country in the world, which is, it's good in one way that people are proud of their country, but I think sometimes it can lead to this egotism as well. Like even yesterday or the day before, we were talking about British comedy is the best in the world. British everything is the best, and it's just this belief that people have in this country always that it's the best. And that, yeah, as I said, there's two sides to it. There's one, it's good to be proud of your country, but the other side, it can lead to some blind spots about Britain and, not really being critical of where we need to be critical.
Okay, I mean, what do you think of this, Tony? I mean, is Britain on the way to being a bit more kind of self-reflective and critical of its own, culture, failures? Yeah.
I don't think it's all. I don't think being British is all about ego. Our government, I don't think it's to do with ego, and I don't think it's about Christianity. I don't think it's about being good to other people. Whenever we go into a country, we rape it. We take their minerals, we take their wealth, we have power over them. We talk about democracy and we want to take it to other countries. Other countries for thousands of years live without democracy. We can keep our democracy for our country. Let other people live how they want to live. It's all about being equal and they have their own choices. We're always knocking China. What a bad threat they are to her. Let's put sanctions on them. Where's your phone made? Where's the chip to your cars made? Where's your television made? I bet it's a Samsung, or there's everything. We couldn't live without China. We couldn't. Every gadget you've got is either produced or it's got a chip. Or electric cars. Where do we get the minerals to make lithium batteries? How is it took out the mines?
Yeah.
By little tiny children paid pennies. Well, or if anything, they just get a good idea if they don't do it. And
okay, so
that.
Yes. So it's kind of like vilifying other countries without maybe fully appreciating.
We rape them.
Okay, I'll come to you, but you had something.
Yeah. Oh no, basically I wanted to show like a quote. Martin Luther King, he said I had a dream that my 4 little children would one day live a nation where they not be judged by the colour of their skin, but the contact of their character. So that's quote like it's showing us that people right now, like in the past they used to judge judge everyone by the color of the skins. So sometimes people do it right now, but things are changed and everything. Now they choose judging people by their experience and everything, not by the color of their skin. And I got another one. And it's in the world is the beauty of the world lies in the diversity of the people and everything. So if people don't have no diversity and everything, no respect for each other, then this world wouldn't be together and everything. So right now we all should be like thanking God that this world been saved for us and everything, so we can be doing loads of fun activities. And strength, it lies between, it doesn't lie between similarities. So if you white and white, let's say everyone's white, it won't make sense and everything. It's just everyone does the same thing. It's good to learn about different. So strength lies between the difference, not the similarities and everything. And then the last one and this I don't know his name, Mahatma Gandhi. Yeah, I don't know his name. A nation culture resides in the hearts and the soul of his people. So if you want the culture to be better and everyone to have respect and everything, the people should have it and everything. So so let's just say if she has respect for a white woman and everything, then people will have respect for her and everything. People will say that, oh, she respects me, I should respect her. Younger and elder. It doesn't mean if they're young, you don't respect them. Young, you have to respect them, and elder, you have to respect them. It's the same way. But life is not like fair. It's hard. People say life is easy. I'm gonna get a car and everything. It's not about the cars. It's about what God makes you do and everything. So it's not about the cars you drive, the houses you have and everything. And people think, oh, I got money, I'm happy and everything. But money is not about happiness. I said it before as well, and I'm saying it again. And that money is not about happiness, because it's just too much. Why would you have a car when you're going in a grave and you're not going to take anything with you? All you're going to have is you and whatever you're going to wear around you. In Islam, we wear like 3 cloths. I don't know about Christianity. 3 cloths around you. You don't take anything else in your grave. You can't take a house, a car in your grave. Everything's going to be going to waste. But that's why you should spend your money wisely. You think about the poor, the rich and everything. The rich, I'm not saying all of them are like stupid and everything, but they're all together. They like make it happy and everything. As long as like the community is happy and everything, we can make a change in life.
Well, that's definitely a drop the mic moment. You have given us quite a lot, and what I'm going to take from what you said is, okay, money is not source of happiness. I mean, it can be, but it's not necessarily. I'll come to you. But also, you know, the beauty is in diversity, actually. But diversity is a challenging thing as well, you know, to really fully embrace people for their differences. It's a bit of a challenge. But as you said, the world where everyone is equal, no matter of the skin color, is happening. It's happening, but maybe it's a slow progress. We're going to be coming to final thoughts because we're going to take a little lunch break. But can I take this as your final thought? All of this? Maybe we'll come back to you for one more thing. But yes, it's your final thought. And what you want to say? Yeah.
That's final thought.
Okay. Alright, so do you want to give us a final thought? Can I just...
just give him that.
Yeah. Give us a final thought. We'll be
Shall I take a picture quickly?
Take a picture of this one.
So how do you like this? Take it.
I'm in my latter years of life, but I wouldn't say I'm happy with the way this country is run. I wouldn't go into politics myself. I think everybody there seems to be in some way corrupt. There's sex scandals, there's racist scandals, there's diversity scandals, who's gay, who's not gay, so many different genders. I thought there was just a man and a woman, and I've grown up that way. I'm a man. Anyway, I don't really know what more to say. I'm not happy with the way the government's run. And I'm not, and I stick by what I say about whenever we go into a country to help them, we get something out of it, and we get a lot more out than we actually give in.
Thank you very much, Tony, and I hope your bicycle is safe. It's no fun having your bicycle lost, but thank you so much for putting so much into your bicycle. No, we played a sound effect, but thank you. What were you going to say?
I'll give you a card.
Yeah. And if you just say for one last final thought, so we can kind of wrap this up, so you can have a little listen as well. Thank you. Yeah.
Ali, if money doesn't buy happiness, transfer it to my account, please. I'm joking. You know what he said was right. I feel like people these days are too materialistic, and they forget that there's little things in life. I find amongst my own generation, my own age, getting a quick part-time job, earning some quick money, asking your parents. It's an unhealthy obsession, and I feel like towards this age, that's all kids are, surrounded by: money this, money that, designer this. It's kind of just fed into us, injected almost, and we seem to forget, the finer arts of life, the natural arts of life. And being part of In Situ, being part of Yes Hub, working with Zoya for about 3 years now, all the little walks we've been on, all the trips we've been on, all the experiences we've made, all the art we've made and contributed towards, the community we've contributed towards, it's really opened my mind. And I feel like these experiences, I wouldn't be the same person. I would have the same mindset that I have now without these experiences, without these people that I've been surrounded by who have also opened their mindset. The people that I work with, the mindset that they have now, they didn't always have. We made that journey together. And I find it unfortunate that not everyone is open-minded enough to accept that journey, to accept, change, and normalizing that going on a little walk and taking in nature it's nice. Like, I'll post it on my story sometimes, and my mate will pop up, be like, "You're going on a walk in nature, that's gay." Like, I feel like it should be normalized, reconnecting with nature. But it's not anymore. Yeah, but it's not anymore. I feel like our natural instincts, being with nature, it's dehumanized almost. Everything's just materialized.
And can I ask you a question? Obviously, you say that you've been kind of part of In Situ for 3 years, and you wouldn't be the person you are if it wasn't for that. But if you kind of rewind to back 3 years ago, what kind of what kind of brought you in? What was the kind of thing that made you get involved? Do you remember to that person that you were back then?
As a kid, it's a bit of a personal experience, but around the age of 6, I was admitted into hospital for HSP. And so I spent around 2 months in hospital, and I was bedridden for that time. So I spent a lot of my time drawing, and I began a love for art, and I carried on that passion throughout primary school through to high school. I did art as a GCSE as well, and I plan on doing it as an A-level fine art in college. It was art that opened me up to Zoya and In Situ, because it was an art-based program for young people, and being surrounded by a community of people who create art and who put their own ideals into art and who spread their message, who spread their mind through their art, it opens you up to so many different perspectives that you can pickpocket, and you can steal these perspectives and you can add them to your own. And instead of looking through one door, you've got a mansion with millions of windows, millions of doors, millions of possibilities, and this mansion is forever growing. I'm proud to say I've built a whole city with my mind, and I'm yet to make countries, continents, and explore more cultures, add more diversity to my life, and meet more people who have more experiences to share. And as I'm going along this journey, I'm making my own experiences, and I can share these experiences and contribute to other people's journeys. And I feel like little things like this make such a big impact on life, but people lose these little things. And you can see it, 2 kids can go to the same school, take the same course, but how they move forward from that, what they do with their spare time, how they contribute to their life and other people's lives, builds their character in so many different ways. The people they surround themselves with, the environment that they surround themselves with, it contributes to you massively, and it makes such a difference. But people aren't always so open-minded to see that, and I think that's unfortunate. I think it's unfair, really, that some people are so hostile towards that.
I mean, I think this is a beautiful final thought, and you have given us a lot. And thank you so much for sharing your experience as well. And I love this kind of idea of, you know, connecting with other people, different perspectives in art. You build new things, mansions, cities, countries. They're still coming in your, you know, in the world of your imagination. I look forward to seeing how they kind of show through. So yeah, your final thought. Thank you so much. So your final thought.
My phone is just shown out this time. What's called this? Yeah, it's it's just that I just want the world, you know, to change and everything. In like like I got a village in Pakistan. It's my great granddad. He used to own anything. Since he's passed away and everything. And my granddad, he's passed away and everything. Everything's gone like it's changed the environment. It's like one person from the full like. From that, let's just say Nelson, there are one councillor that takes everything in his own hand, does everything for community and everything. So he puts the community first and his family next and everything. And that's what you call a good councillor. The councillors are all they do sometimes, I'm not saying all of them, sometimes all they do is just sit down and playing, sit down and do nothing. But then what's it called? We need to change the environment and everything. And so that most people they make whatever happens outside this country, they bring it into this country. So I think you probably heard about Imran Khan and everything like that. So fair enough, people, they should do it in the country that they doing it in, like Pakistan. They can't do it like over here. Why would they bring it over here? If none of you don't know who Imran Khan is technically, like you don't know who Imran Khan is, isn't it? Yeah, but I'm saying like some people don't. Yeah, so then I don't know why they bring it here. So like right now, some of them protesting in front of the Nawaz Sharif's house in London. But I think they should just stop the protesting and make a deal with them and everything. Say that you do this and do that. But if they say that and everything, you should be good and everything. You be clever and everything in life. But people, they just think it's like, oh, this is this. We should not go and talk to that person. Look at the colour of his skin. Look at him. So I'm not. I don't judge anyone on. And what's it called? I don't think anyone else should. So if what's it called? If you see a person, a Muslim person or a black person, or anything, a white person, you shouldn't go to him and say to him, "Oh, you're racist" and everything. You should go to him and say, "Oh, hello, how are you?" and ask him how they're feeling. They might be sad and everything. You probably just said to him, "Hello, how are you feeling?" and they probably get happy and everything. And so right now, you don't know what's happening in their life. So right now, someone from my family could have died and everything, and you came to ask me, "How are you?" and I'd be like, "Oh, I'm feeling lousy and everything, sad and everything." You will come to me and say, "How can I make you feel better?" and everything. Then it'll be a better place and everything.
I think this is a really brilliant thought as well, and I think by asking how people are without judgment, that's just a nice thing, and you may actually learn something that you didn't know. We're kind of wrapping this session up. Do you have any beginning?
Come to collect me.
Are you chaperoning? Just any thoughts? Any thoughts?
I missed it all. I don't know what's going on.
Tell us what's going on in your world. How are you?
I'm okay. How are you?
See you later. Yeah, you're okay. And what are you doing with this clipboard?
Getting a list of people to join a youth club.
Okay. Is this young person joining a youth club?
Yeah.
In a few years' time, don't worry.
She's not that age yet.
Okay, right. Thank you so much. I hope you get lots of people joining the youth club. We are just taking a little break. So I'm going to swap out. What's your name?
Zaina.
Zainab, I'm Margot. Nice to meet you. Are you doing lots of selfies? Great, thanks. Thank you, everybody. This is Tokioki in Nelson, Festival of Culture. We're just taking a little break and over and out.
What's your favourite colour?
Pink.
What's yours?
Blue.
That's good. My favourite colour is blue as well. I like blue more. It's like a natural colour for me as well. So, do you live in Nelson or Brighfield? Do you live here in Nelson? So you sisters. Yeah, that's really good. So, what do you think of all this? What do you think about it? Do you think all this is amazing and everything?
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. So, are you gonna come here next year when we do it again?
Maybe.
Do you think you're gonna come?
Yeah.
Yeah, didn't that girl over here? She likes wait.
You like a river, so give me the
Rules on Tokyo Key, no singing, no fighting.
No fighting. No fighting, sorry, the mob. Give me that thingy.
I would like to do sound effects.
It's a dog, it's a dog. Give me that thingy. Give me it, give me it. Give me the microphone.
Oh, wait,
Judy, give me the microphone.
First rule of Tokyo.
Judy, give me the microphone, man. That's
But-
people. So there's a dog, a bulldog. Please be aware. Where is it? Oh, you
there. It's a, oh my god.
Oh, yeah, this is someone. Basically, Chidi likes a river in your 11 stuck in
I do. These that are like Sammy, and you went to the woods with him. Yeah, okay. No.
Can I speak?
Yes, okay.
I want to speak.
Oh, just wait. Okay. How do you feel today?
I feel 50-50 in it. Because you know, some exciting things happened today. Some very. Wallah, no!
That's green.
There's a dog.
Everyone calm down.
In it. Okay. I just. I got to ask you this now. Okay. What do you like? What do you think about the environment?
Turtles.
Like what?
Got to get everybody's name to begin with, because everyone knows.
What's your name?
Mujtaba.
What's yours?
Barbara.
Cyber. Hallelujah.
Okay. Okay. What's your name?
Yasmin.
What's yours?
Anuj.
What's yours?
Noah.
Shush. Another thing. Thank you. So, what do you think about the environment? Let's talk much about first.
Around here, it's alright. It could be better, but yeah, mine is.
So, what about around the world as well?
Around the world needs to be better, but right now it's not that good, is it? Yeah, that's how global warming and that.
That's really good. Now, what about you, Hannah?
My name is not Hannah.
Barbara.
Yeah. Get it right. So basically, you know, turtles are dying in it and it's really wrong.
Where the hell are turtles?
Yeah, they are. Plastic in the ocean. So, what do you feel about the world?
There shouldn't be dogs.
Why?
Because they scare the crap out of you. Yeah, look. You should put them on leash.
Can I just? Why are you scared of the dog? Do you feel like it's going to attack you, or the?
He's gonna bite your bum hole.
Dogs are cute. They're not that scary. I don't know why people don't like dogs. Don't sit down. Do you like dogs?
I don't like you.
No. Do you like dogs?
I love dogs.
Do you like dogs?
Same, I love dogs.
What? I'm allowed line, mate. Yeah. Yeah, I don't think they're gone.
I think everyone's a bit nervous. They keep standing up, sitting down, and it's given a bit of a nervous energy to the flow of a conversation. We need to be able to just get these girls on this side a bit more relaxed. So maybe we just go with them and find out what they think.
I think everything's good and everything, but it's just like her and her scared dogs and that guy's me.
Where is it? Where is it?
Daniel, come sit there. We can listen about the environment. What? Sit down, it's just 2 minutes. Okay. What's your belief on the environment?
I think it's an important thing to protect. I know there's a lot big environment around here. Obviously you got Pendle and it's really good natural area, and you need to preserve it and keep it well.
So what's your judgment on races that people like me and some of the girls were saying that what's it called that racist is mostly people that are Asian cultured and white cultured, or like being in the black culture and Asian are being being racially judged and everything. Do you agree with this?
What, like they're being racist to each other?
Yeah.
Well, I think we should all come together as a community, like we're doing today, and take part showing everyone what who you are and what you do.
Yeah, I agree with everyone, but I forgot to ask you this first. What's your name?
Daniel.
Thank you, Daniel.
So say what everybody else's name is.
Yeah, no, I said it. Okay, I'm sure these are names. What's your name?
I'm a nude.
Yeah. So, do you think if you were a councillor or something, what would you change about the environment?
Oof, that's an actually hard one. That. What would I think to try and make the town, like Pendle, I'd try and make it more green. You know, like streets, etc. Try and make more plants, more trees. You know, just make it more thriving community, and see what we can do to make it better.
Yeah, I agree with you. I think if I was a councillor, I would change the environment first to make it more all around green.
When you're in the middle, you can't give your own opinion. You've got to turn it into questions. So you've got to ask. You've asked Daniel. We've got to ask me as well. Yeah.
So if you're a councillor, what's your name? Mikey. If you're a councillor, Mikey, what would you change about the world?
I don't know. I think I maybe might I don't know, make the stuff like it's happening today a bit more often, not just once a year. I think maybe it could be smaller scale, but happen more often. Because it's nice to see people around and about, but generally in Nelson there's not that much activity going on.
Yeah, I agree with you as well. If you wanted to get the community together, what events would you hold? So that, such as these events, cricket matches, or what other events would you hold?
Yes, I feel like football matches, cricket matches, you know, in Nelson, in Briarfield, in Colne, just to bring everyone together, bring the community closer, different cultures, different aspects of life, and everyone closer.
Okay, what's your name?
Barbara.
Okay, Barbara, okay, if you were a councillor, what would you change? And if there was any community events, what community events would you hold?
Okay, so what was the question?
We want a final thought from you.
Wait. What community events would you hold over here?
I'd hold like, I don't know. I'd hold what I want anyway. Like he was saying, like sports matches and all that. What else would I hold? Let's just have a look. Let's just think in my big brain.
While you're thinking, get a final thought from Dan.
Yeah, let Barbara think for a bit.
Come.
What? My final thought? What?
Whatever you think.
Okay. Well, I've only just arrived to this festival. I was supposed to be here earlier, but I was ill. But I'm now here now. I think I know it's a great event, and I'm looking forward to see what's here. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Bye, Daniel, and bye, Barbara.
Okay, we're going to start up again. Don't run away. This is Talkioki Pop-Up Talk Show. My name's Mikey. This is the final session, sadly, today. But we're still going. We never stop until there's no people, until we scared everyone off. Who have we got around the table? What's your name?
My name is Andy.
And who have we got over here?
Coenza.
And another round of applause. And
Margot.
And what's your name, Mr. Cameraman?
Muhammad Ali.
Muhammad Ali, welcome. We're starting up. Come and join in our pop-up talk show. My name is Mikey. We have got Andy, we've got Karenza, we've got Margot, we've got Muhammad Ali, and yeah, the whole point of Talk is up. Yes, you can join. Yes, come on.
Have a chat.
Come and have a chat. Yeah, exactly. But right now we don't have anything to talk about. Maybe these people can give us an idea. What should we talk about? We're stuck for a subject right now. Any thoughts?
Poverty.
What's that?
Poverty.
Poverty?
Yeah.
What do you want to say about poverty? Is that a good subject to talk about? Come and join us. Yes. Come here. Come on. 2 minutes. 2 minutes. Come on. Just help us get it going. Yeah, you can. You can do it. You can do it. Anyway, so you want to talk about poverty, but why?
I think it's bad like around over here, poverty. I think it's bad around here because I was like right now, which I'm in year 9 and I chose my options and I chose sociology because I want to learn about poverty and everything. So I'm gonna become a police officer and make a change in life and everything.
Okay. I mean, did you find anything out about poverty?
Well, so far nothing yet because after September that's when we're gonna find out about poverty and everything. So I think right now, in my opinion, I think poverty is really bad around these areas. But it's just like a small town and everything, and I feel like it's too much like poor people around and everything. I think the world should be fair and equal to each other, so you could deliver money and everything.
Okay, I mean, just quickly before you go, what do you think about poverty?
No.
How much money have you got?
0.
£3 or £4? Are you poor?
I don't know.
Okay, not sure. Okay, we've got a new face at the table. So we've got Muhammad Ali, we've got Margot, we've got Karenza, we've got Andy, and who? What's your name?
Carl.
Okay, and I'm Mikey. At the moment we're talking about poverty. Is it a big problem in Nelson?
No.
No? Okay.
I've heard it's not about, well, it's a link to poverty, it's a link to homelessness. There are some people who do it for charity and they go and live on the street to raise awareness.
Yeah.
And I don't know how I feel about this.
Yeah.
People who don't have to be on the street, they go on the street and they just sleep just to kind of empathize or whatever. But then they can just go home at the end of that. And I don't know what people think of that as a form of raising awareness.
What do you think, Cole?
Yeah, good. Good night. Curry night street.
Yeah.
It's good.
Yeah. So
and Friday night curry night is good.
Okay, the Friday night curry night going. Come and get involved in this.
Is that the curry on the streets? Yeah, sort of group. So that's yeah.
That's on Friday night.
Okay, so they do the kind of like free meals for homeless people.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. So there's something going on. But what about the idea of actually spending the night on the street, even if you don't have to?
I think there are big organizations like Korean Sea. It's a small organization. Not many people know about it. I think we should spread awareness about it. Korean Sea. So it came to Modern Heights with we gave him we were in like a student council meeting and everything, and we gave Mark. I think Mark's the guy, innit? Yeah, Mark. Yeah, Mark. We gave him 2 full tubs of food and everything. So he's gonna make it and spread awareness and everything. He put it on his Twitter, Facebook and everything. He goes because he wants people not to starve in the streets and thing. But I think people should if they see a homeless person, just at least give them change. Any change will matter. 1p, 2p, 3p. It doesn't matter. It's just only different things that we need. And I think mostly it's the main ones. Salvation Army, Cody on the Street and all them. They're like the really good ones. There's other businesses, they're like, nah, they just get the money for themselves and make the place looking good and everything. That's it.
Okay. Yep.
I've got a question because you said you're considering becoming a policeman. I mentioned that before, but there's a note up by the shopping centre which says begging is illegal. Don't give people any money. I mean, how do you feel about that?
Okay.
In the future, if that's your job, they have to reinforce the law.
Would you arrest a homeless person that was begging?
No, I wouldn't arrest anything. If that's the kind of world that does this and everything, I would actually not become a police officer now. I would become a police officer in another country because I don't like these countries.
Yeah. Okay. So, what country would you become a police officer in?
So mostly like the countries that are more like there's more people that need help and things.
Okay.
So like let's just say the criminal area. It's like USA, Dubai, or any other country. I don't mind, but except from the less. It's basically in England you can't do anything that much. All the police do is go around in the car chasing people, just taking out the weapons and everything. That's all they do. But I think if they cared about more the world and everything, they would get everything straight. Then people will come here to get police job instead of going somewhere else to get police job.
The police actually need to care a bit more about the world. Is that what you say? Okay. Okay, so it's interesting. Any thoughts on this side? Carl, would you join the police?
I'm a firefighter.
A firefighter, yeah?
Yeah. I'm a Lancashire Fire and Rescue Service. I help people.
Okay.
Yeah.
Why fire and not police?
police and fire service work
Okay, okay, working together. Okay, so it's all part of the same thing. All right. Okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
If it was justified, would you take bribery?
Would you take a bribe?
Sorry.
What is justified?
Whatever it is.
What's the justification for the bribery? Yeah.
Okay. I mean, anyone here ever taken? Has anyone here ever taken?
It's so defined.
Has everyone here ever taken a bribe?
I bribe my children all the time. So
How do you bribe your children? And do they take the
normally
bribes?
with sweets, normally
Yeah.
with if you do this then you can have this. Although I've discovered quite recently that my child is doing it back to me now. She goes, I'll put my clothes on for school if I can have 5 more minutes play.
Okay.
So it's become a bit of a currency.
There's a bit of dealing going on. We're talking about bribery. Have you ever given a bribe or accepted a bribe? Have you got kids? Have you ever bribed your kids?
Yes.
Yeah, come on, you know you have. Come on, come talk about it. We're talking about bribery. Have you ever taken a bribe? It's too a hot subject. Okay. All right, but Carenza, I think we'll have to give Carenza a round of applause because she's admitted to giving bribes, bribing the kids. Come and have a seat. We have got Margot. We had Margot. We've got Carenza. We've got Andy. What's your name?
Janine.
Sean.
Moment we're talking about earlier on. Actually, we're talking about corruption at large, but now we're talking about bribery, especially in the family, because Carenza has got settled into the practice of bribing her children to get ready for school or whatever it is. Have you ever got involved in bribery? Have you ever?
At home?
Yeah.
Absolutely, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's the only way you get stuff done sometimes.
Okay. I mean, it's interesting because earlier on we were talking about how politicians are a bit corrupt, but it seems like at home we're corrupt at home, or some of us are anyway, especially those with kids. So. I mean, have you ever got involved in any sort of corruption at home?
No. I'm trying to think. I think sometimes I teach, so I perhaps use I use hooks. Like if you do this or this, then we'll maybe get an extra 5 minutes of break or something. So is that bribery? Yeah. Probably.
Yeah. Is it bribery to sort of offer the kids stuff? This is an interesting question. So, what's this one's name?
Joey.
Oh yeah, Joey. Okay. Okay. So, any thought, Andy? Have you got any thoughts on this? Have you ever done anything corrupt?
I mean, I have done lots of corrupt things, but I'm just thinking about what the context is. Yeah, I guess this idea of what we're talking about with bribery, and especially when it happens in schools as well, is that there's like an informal kind of economy, isn't there? There are people kind of know the rules or don't know the rules, and it's kind of like, you know, because you need something else other than the formal stuff to make things work. So yeah, a lot of the stuff that I do is done for free or done through like swapping or bartering, or kind of like, oh, if I put on, you know, a gig for this band, then they'll put one on for me, and it's kind of like, that's all like informal economy stuff, isn't it? Which I guess I do. Yeah, I think that's a really positive thing. But then like bribery sounds like there's kind of like some weird power relationship that people don't know about.
So it's you scratch my back, I scratch yours kind of thing. Okay. What's your name?
Zaina.
Zaina. We got, what was it again? Sorry. Janine. Sean. We've got Margot. We've got Carenza. We have got Andy and Mikey, and we've got Muhammad Ali, as also known as Chiri. You're going to come and join it. We're talking about you scratch my back, I scratch yours. Have you heard about that? Do you know what that means?
Scratching each other's backs.
Does your mum say that if you'll do something, you can have something? Does Zoya say that?
Like, for example, that Lolly, would she say if you tidy your room, you get an ice cream?
No. I just asked her for money and she said yeah.
You just ask her for money, so it's a
Do you bribe your mum?
Okay. Well, we're going to develop this conversation. What about you over here? Do you ever do this? Let's call it informal economy.
Yes, I think in terms of like doing gigs, because I think, yeah, it's funny because you assume that people understand things the way you understand. If you do something nice to someone, the understanding is, and I don't know where it's coming from, that they will do something back, and when they don't, I feel like offended. I feel like, oh my God, you really dropped the ball there.
Can you give us an example?
An example would be, for instance, just like doing, I don't know, somebody wants to borrow some kind of equipment from our studio, and we go like, yeah, sure, which one of these things you want? And then when you ask them something back, like, oh, hey, do you want to come to my event? They're like, they can't. Maybe it's just a different category of things.
So
but for me, there is no different category. But it's like emotional manipulation as well. So I'm cautious about being nice to people now.
Really?
I don't want them to be like, that's my.
It's being nice to people. Do you just do it?
No, but my mum used to have this kind of rule where she didn't like going to other people's parties because she knew that there would be an expectation that she'll have to put on one, and she hated it because my dad never helped her washing up or preparing. She's like, I don't want to be like having a party. Yeah.
Was that a real expectation, or was that just one on herself?
What do you mean by that?
I mean, did she really have to reciprocate, or did she just have the anxiety that she had to reciprocate?
I think it's the latter.
It's just anxiety. Do we sometimes overthink these things? If you're invited to a party, do you feel like you need to put on your own party?
Because my house is a tip.
Okay.
Okay, so it was just my mum.
Yeah.
Come and get involved in this. We're talking about parties. If you go to a party, does it mean you've got to give a party? When's the last time have you hosted a party?
Only on my birthday.
On your birthday, did people come?
Yeah.
Does that mean that you've got to go to their birthday parties?
Yeah.
I mean, have you ever been invited to a birthday party but not invited that person to your birthday party, or the other way around?
Yeah.
All right. Has anyone else done that? Have you ever not been invited to a party? That's a wrong way of putting it. Well, you're invited to people maybe that you don't want to get invited to their parties. This is what we're talking about at the moment. Is corruption the natural way of life?
The more we talk about it, the more I'm warming to the idea of corruption. I think it is part of how we are. Whether it's good or bad, that's a second question. But the first question is like everybody seems to be doing it. I mean, you're kind of doing. But I think we do these things in a good spirit most of the times. You want to kind of wrap your parents around your finger maybe to get things that you want. There will be time in your life where you realize maybe the things that you wanted weren't the things that you needed, and was it really worth it. I remember like terrorizing my parents, saying like, but I've been really good at school and you can't even send me on holidays. My parents just didn't have money, but I wasn't old enough to understand that, and my mom was just like, I said, so was I bad? Were you not happy with my results? I was such a shit, sorry. When I think about
Yeah. Okay. So we're Yeah. Go on, Brandon.
This definition of corruption. So what exactly is the corrupt bit?
Yeah.
Because what we're talking about, bribery and making things happen, isn't necessarily a corruption of a system. It's like quite functional in most people's households.
How did you do that? Let me see.
Yeah. So I've been thinking whilst we've been speaking, and I think it's unfortunate that we kind of grow up in corruption without knowing how many of the things that we get or the privileges we have in this country historically are as a result of corruption and manipulation at global level and historical and all the rest of it. And it's hard to change your ways, kind of thing. So as you kind of grow up with a norm without understanding how what we've got is as a result of corruption and manipulation. So has it become innate within people?
It becomes a kind of like thing that we're used to. I mean, someone earlier on said Boris Johnson just didn't realise that it was wrong to give the guy from the BBC a job just because he'd organised a loan, because that's how they work. That's how it works. So is it innate? Is it built into the system?
I'm just looking up the definition of corruption. Actually, the origin is from Latin, and corrumpere, if that's how you say it, is to mar, to bribe, to destroy. And I'm interested in this destroy bit. So is it okay to kind of, to strike up an unofficial deal with something, but then at some point it just goes wrong, and maybe that's when it's corruption?
Yeah, okay. I don't know. Sometimes, I don't know. I guess in the UK we sort of think we're kind of above that, don't we? We think we're not as corrupt as other countries, or do we? I don't know. What do you think?
It's how we present everything, because if we go through history that I went through, and I don't think it's changed much now, but history within primary and secondary level doesn't touch upon lots of colonial history.
Yeah.
So we kind of like have this predisposition that we kind of like, we set the standards for what civilization is, but if you look at our history, not even going back so far, we've not got a good record.
Okay, so we in a way we keep quiet about all the.
But then I think, not that I'm defending corruption, but I'm just saying that I think our tolerance and our awareness of it is much different than it was in the past to what it is now. So there's this kind of drive for transparency and a general and a greater understanding is so much more acute than I think in the past. And what we would not seen as corrupt in those days, we blatantly see within the terms of corruption, I think.
Let me get a final thought from you.
Maybe we've just evolved that way as a survival mechanism to get things that we want or need without maybe consciously thinking about it. Maybe it's just become like you say, natural, a way of life.
Okay, it's a way of life. It makes it sound a bit like like The Godfather, doesn't it? Like that is Pendle kind of like the the mafia territory of the UK. Final thought.
I just think it's selfishness, the way we sort of want everything for me and I want it now and things like that, really.
Yeah. I want it and I want it now.
Yeah. Are we in that I want it and I want it now kind of mentality? Yeah.
But can I ask, do you think it's like a stage in our lives that we go through, and then kind of over, the older you get, that changes, but maybe for some people it doesn't change, but like, have you been like this and changed? I just wonder when the change is possible. Yeah. Have you been because as children we just don't understand many things, so it's very easy to be like, I want this now, but then you grow older, you have more experiences, but I wondered whether people feel they've know when that change happens.
I think as time's gone on, you get a little bit older. When I was a kid in the 70s, you sort of wanted it when you were 5 and 6, but when you were 25 and 6, you knew you had to work, whereas now with credit and everything like that, it's I want it now, I'll pay later, and debt and all sorts of stuff like that. And that's what it creates, debt in the end, because you want stuff now.
So we buy now, pay later, and then we all end up in debt, and we're all in the global debt system because of it. Let's get a final thought as well from our event manager.
Final thoughts. I think the role models that we need, we don't necessarily see or hear them in a mass media sense to kind of promote a balance in terms of how we. Well, it comes back to I would say some aspect of corruption, because media is a business, so what they want to show is not these kind of like values and ethics and those sorts of things, and media is becoming more and more very much kind of like, in my opinion, controlled. So if you look at independent journalism as it was even like say 30 years ago, is not what it is today. So if you're an independent journalist, you will not find a progressive career path in mass media. So I think that.
Okay, so journalism's gone down the hill. Okay, what do other people think? Is it down to the media that we want everything now? And what do you want everything now?
Not anymore.
I'm an impatient person. I think I like things sort of done quickly. I know they can take, so I don't think I'm managing to grow out of that, but I'm just thinking about link between, well, either bribery or kind of and childhood and kind of what it feels like. Then basically you don't know what the rules are, do you? That's the kind of the thing. You don't, like you say, you can become patient once you know, oh well, we're in a fair sort of situation, things will eventually come to me. But if you don't know that, then that's when you kind of can feel.
I was going to say something. So we literally, you're right. I hoodwink my children, not necessarily bribe them, because they don't know the rules. So they know that they just feel like I'm
All right. So I don't know if that's any better. Okay. So we have got Andy. We've got Karenza. We've got Margot. We've got Zaina. We've got
Yvonne.
We've got
Karen.
And I'm Mikey, and this is Talkioki. Welcome. It's a pop-up talk show, and right now we are talking about. Well, we started off talking about global corruption. That was in the earlier session, and then we found out that Karenza bribes her children. Hoodwinks them. We found out more, and we found out actually we had a teacher who bribes their children as well to do things, and it just became this question: do we actually need bribery and corruption to get things done, or is it just about, is it about, I don't know what? Yeah, it's about.
So I had an experience this week which Yvonne knows about, going and working in a primary school in Halifax for 2 days, and it was an unbelievably disciplinarian sort of environment where I was just I really wasn't expecting it. I didn't know that actually this sort of Victorian style of kind of controlling a classroom works, but I guess they thought, well, it's either got to be that or bribery, and actually they were taking the definite the stick approach.
They were going for stick rather than carrot mode, what are you? Do you prefer to go for carrot, or is it a choice between carrot and stick to get things done?
Yeah, definitely the stick works better.
Stick works better than carrot.
For me, yeah, because you feel like my response then to do whatever needs doing is almost like to avoid punishment or avoid something bad happening. That's why I'm very good with deadlines. Well, I'm not very good at deadlines are a way to make me creative. Yeah, deadlines are good for me. But what I wanted to go back to a little bit is the media, because as Rauf said, it's a corporation. It's a business. And recently I haven't been watching news loads, but it's funny how I kind of tune in every couple of months or every month or something, and I just kind of see what the BBC decides is the bulletin, what are the main news, and it's always just such a funny kind of curated selection of news. Like the Titanic people were big news for ages, then something random, somebody's murder, something sad, something sensational and dead, Madonna in intensive care, that's national news in the UK, and I thought, wow, it's just interesting.
Okay, are we being controlled by our media? It's up to you really where you want to take this conversation. Not you, just you personally, but you in the plural. Do we want to talk about the carrot and the stick? Do we want to talk about the mass media? Do we want to get a final thought from this person? Give us a final thought.
Final thought. I'm going home. I don't have any thoughts in my head, Mikey.
Really?
There's nothing there.
Would it be better for me to sort of threaten you with something to give you a final thought, or bribe you? Would you rather be bribed or threatened to give you a final thought?
Whatever you prefer.
Well, I guess it's cheaper for me just to threaten you. So if you don't come up with a final thought, I'm just going to reverse into this and smash it up. So you better come up with a final thought.
Oh gosh, my final thought was it's been a lovely day for me talking to people about what they think art is, and the question about what art isn't.
Okay.
And the idea that somebody said that they feel like art is something that they find present in a lot of the conversations that they have with other people, as much as when they're looking at pictures and stuff like that. So I thought that was a nice thought.
That's a good takeaway. That's your good takeaway for the day.
I needed threatening.
Yeah, you made it. That was a good one. But we had Selena go on like a long fight. It was good for us because it meant we didn't have to do any work. But long 5-minute speech about the power of art and how it's completely transformed her life. So you need to take that little segment and do something with. I don't know what you want to do with it. Yeah. But you can put that on I don't know what you could do with it, but you could do something. Put it on social media.
Have you heard of that social media?
I thought media was bad. I thought it was I thought it was something.
It still exists, but it's funny how your algorithms think. Like, what kind of people do you think our algorithms think we are, or like the BBC kind of, anyway, I'm just interested.
And do we need to turn into what that idea is?
Yeah, exactly. How do you not?
How do you subvert your algorithm? How do you change your algorithm?
Get off social media.
Okay.
Log off.
Are you on social media?
No, hope not. Yeah.
Are you on social media? Are you on social media?
A little bit.
What's your favourite platform?
I don't really have a fit. I wouldn't want to say that there was a.
What's your least favourite platform?
Twitter, I think, probably. That's easy.
Okay. What? Uh-oh.
You got
Okay, everything's okay? Okay. Okay.
It's like an epic fall, but it was kind of like, the stunt, yeah.
It was a stunt tumble.
There's no tears.
Carenza used that moment to escape without a final thought.
That was really nice.
That was Oh no, she's just gone to look after the.
You see, you've judged Carenza thinking that she's gonna do something like escaping, but actually she went and gave support to the child that just performed a stunt.
Yeah, well, no, I'm just getting more into this kind of threat-based way of doing talkioki. Rather, this is all about
emotional threat.
Yeah, emotional manipulation. It works so well, actually. Yeah. All right. So. You better come up with something good, people. Otherwise, I'm gonna just really lose it. Yeah, I'm working on the threats here. I'm just not.
You lose it.
Oh my God.
No, Margot's seen me lose.
Mikey finally runs out of steam. We're all going to be there.
No, but I think, but this is the whole thing, just to get Mikey completely mute, and we can just have a chat. Just use him as a kind of microphone handling, devoid of personality, kind of warm prop.
Okay, all right. Okay, all right. I'm going to say less then, but then somebody else needs to.
I'm going to reclaim a box. I'm going to reclaim a box from the library now.
Come and join us. Yeah. Okay. Well, you've given us your final thought. Thank you, Anna. And,
Thank you.
Is it a special box library?
It's a box of mine that's been a prop. Not a warm prop, a cold prop, at the library for a year, and I need to go and get it back.
That's fair
but here we
enough.
go. But because of library closures and reduced opening hours, it's never been open when I've gone back to get it. So underfunding of the libraries.
Okay, that's a bit. Yeah, that's not that good. But we were talking about starting an underground club, and couldn't that be part-time library, or just kind of have a compartment there? It would have to be like a secret society to access it. But if you make something exclusive to some extent, it's people want it more. So I wonder whether how do you kind of make a library really cool? I mean, maybe people already think it's cool, but why is it closing?
Yeah.
So the 1 in 12 club has a library in it upstairs. So that's in Bradford, the longest running anarchist social club in Europe, members club. So a contradiction in an anarchist social club, but you have with a members card. But yeah, you've got a cafe upstairs, vegetarian cafe, bar, event space, and then a library in the back, which is like it's all anarchist publications. But I always thought it was funny that was the sort of
Put it in alphabetical order.
yeah, exactly. Everything's just like a mess and kind of books upside down. You're not allowed to read them from start to finish. But I always thought it was really amazing that you had this great library in a place where people were sort of there for a night out, and then kind of you'd be amongst books.
Speaking of anarchy, I recently saw an anarchist. Oh God, what's it called? It was like a dating,
Anarchist.
It was like an anarchist
Anarchist
dating
dating
performance
app. Yeah.
afternoon,
Oh,
and I
right,
wanted
right,
to
right.
send my flatmate there because she's currently on a lookout. And she said, "Oh, that looks great, but I can't make it." But it's in London. But I just thought, wow. And they say you don't have to be single to come to this. And I'm like, what's the point of that? So anarchist.
Have you ever had a date with an anarchist? That's what we're talking about.
Oh, now she did it. Sorry.
No, yeah, exactly. Give us a final thought before you go, and ask that man there with the hat to give us an initial thought. He's an events manager. Because he hasn't said anything all day. So I wonder if he's got anything to say. Anyway, we're talking about going on. Who here's been on a date with an anarchist? Have you been on a date with an anarchist? Yeah, what was it like?
Random. He's gonna get beaten up.
Yeah. And no one else been on a date with an anarchist? No. I've been on a date with an anarchist. Yeah. I have. It's true. Yeah. But it's not about me. This show's not about me. I can't talk about that. Yeah.
I'm married to one.
You're married to one. Well, what's it like being married to an anarchist? Come and tell us. We need to know your experience. I think Shabir is not allowed to tell us what it's like. Right. Yeah.
No, but I mean, like dating is one thing. Anarchism or like political affiliations is another thing. I think you can't mix like love with politics in a sense.
But is it?
So I think it's like separate conversations that you're having with your loved one, if they represent different political fractions.
Is it possible
Even
to
if it's the
have
same.
different political views from your partner?
I hope so. Yeah.
Yeah. You say yes. Ron, can you?
Yeah.
Can you go into that a little bit?
Just to confuse people, I like to wear a shooting hat and a barber jacket, but I'm not a Tory.
You're not a Tory. Okay. Have you got like some kind? Have you got some kind of? But whoever your partner is, have you got some kind of political disagreements with that partner?
Maybe slightly. I think we're pretty in line with most things. Yeah.
I'm more surprised when we've got friends where they're very like polar opposites and obviously just don't either talk about it or just exactly that's what I mean. That's the question, isn't it? Where it's like, oh yeah, that like her partner's like either very right wing or like it's always a surprise to me because it's like, how doesn't that just play out in what you make for breakfast or how you make breakfast or kind of.
How does difference in political views affect your breakfast? What do the Tories eat for breakfast?
Well, I'm going to tell your story for you. So my mum and dad both voted opposites on the Brexit question.
All right.
And now it's no longer a relationship. So.
What is it about Brexit?
It wasn't about Brexit, but it was definitely. Yeah.
Okay. No comment.
Clear line in the sand.
Yeah.
No going back.
I mean, has Brexit ruined a lot of families or family relationships? Has Brexit ruined your family?
No.
No. Okay. Has Brexit ruined your family?
No, but my ex-boyfriend's dad was a Tory. And even though it's a completely separate person to my ex-boyfriend, I couldn't get over it. And I think he did play a part in like the overall shape of who are you, why are we together? So therefore we're no longer together.
But isn't that weird though, that people can't tolerate these different views in our...
That's... reading some Augusto Boal stuff about the theatre of the oppressed and all these kind of his whole thing about creating properly democratic forums, or his example is to be able to get on with someone who's got, or to sort of withhold like political judgment or something, be able to like be in that space. But that's where it makes me think I am less tolerant than maybe I think I am.
Okay, so how tolerant do you need to be of different... Are you tolerant of different political views? No? I said no? Maybe we're not as tolerant as we thought we were. Okay. Or should we leave it there? No. Go on.
Yeah. Yeah. What was I going to say? Are we tolerant? I think I like to think I'm more tolerant than I actually am, but it's usually over petty things or things which are not. They're not. I don't think they're cultural things. They're just like human things that I just get annoyed about. Oh. Okay. Photography. I'll take the camera.
Oh, I thought they were going to come and. I thought they were going to come and sit down and add life to this flagging conversation, but no. Yeah. Anyway, so well, different political views can ruin your life. Yeah. Should we just leave it there? Yeah. Yeah. Let's get some final thoughts then. Because I don't know, I feel like I've got nothing left in the tank. Unless Andy, you want to have a go in the middle, or Yvonne, or somebody wants to try and keep this going. Margot.
I mean, I've had my go in the middle. I can jump in if the moment requires it, obviously.
Well, it might be over now anyway. I don't know. What if I don't? Yeah.
Okay, so we're just gonna wind up. So maybe it's like a final thoughts moment. So anyway, I enjoyed today. I really did not expect to be talking about corruption, but you know, we came from like corruption on the country level, global level, family level, and then actually somehow I felt like there was consensus that actually corruption is just part of who we are as humans. So how do you move on from that? I'm thinking about it still, but yeah, I really enjoyed it. Thank you.
Okay, great job in the middle. Let's have a final thought then. Final thought? No. Have you enjoyed today?
I have, yes, thank you.
What's been the highlight?
Lunch.
Cheese pie.
Cheese pie.
Okay.
That's my final thought.
What?
Cheese pie.
Is it like
Savoury.
a cheesecake?
Yeah. Cheese pie. Yeah.
Okay. And have you enjoyed today?
Yeah.
What's been your highlight?
The cheese pie.
Cheese pie. Okay. I think we realised we can't compete with a cheese pie. Have you enjoyed today? What's been your highlight?
I mean, as always, the talky Mikey. But yeah, I feel like there's definitely been a more global, international conversation today, hasn't there? I wonder why are people's heads in kind of global events this time round, as opposed to normally it's like very, very local stuff, isn't it? So maybe something's happened recently where people are sort of thinking about much bigger, or their place in a bigger world than last year when we were talking about really specific things in Nelson. Yeah.
I mean, from my perspective, it's just, there's all these different things, everything's connected, as Dirk Gently would say, and it's all these little things connected to the big things, which connected to the even bigger things, and it's almost like we're on this kind of like marble surface of different conversational topics, skating across them, and we could really, it's just, I think there's an element of chance about what we discover on any given day.
Was that an opinion?
That was my final thought.
Okay. Yeah. Okay, well done, Mikey in the middle. And thank you to everybody who took part in this quite global focused Tokieki. So thank you, enjoy Nelson, and see you over and out.
And our TV's run out of batteries as well. Or is it the camera?
So it's not just us.
Yeah. We've run out of batteries. We're dead now. Thank you, everyone. Thanks for coming. Nice to meet you.